there's a man who crossed the road, and before that he was walking past this area. He came up to us and he said, "Is it an English copy of the Quran?" I said, "Yes." And he just asked for it. I gave it to him. He wasn't interested in having a conversation, but he wanted to read it. What does it go to show you? It goes to show you we're visible. That's the thing. Wherever you're giving dawah, if you're wearing something branded, it helps a lot. If we were in casual clothes, people are more apprehensive. When you are part of an organization, when you look organized, when you're wearing the same sort of uniform, people are much more friendly as well and much more likely to speak to you, and you look more professional. And it just goes to show, if we weren't here, that man would not get a copy of the Quran. So may Allah bless all the people watching, bless the people who've supported the printing of the Quran, so that we can take this to a much larger scale, inshallah. Free copy of the Quran. Have a nice day. Hello, my friend. Hello, free copy of the Quran? Free copy of the Quran? Hello? Free copy of the Quran? Hello? Free copy of the Quran?
Free copy, please. Like one?
Hello? 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 Free copy of the Quran? Hello? Free copy of the Quran? 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 Hi. Would you like a free copy of the Quran? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Hello? Hello? Free copy of the Quran? Hello? Hello, ma'am. How are you doing? Have a nice day. Hello? Free copy of the Quran?
You see nothing. We can pray.
The work of dawah requires a lot of patience, requires a lot of consistency, requires perseverance from the perspective that you know every single moment that you're in the path of Allah, you are being rewarded, because it can be difficult, it can be tough, it can be challenging, it can be incredibly daunting sometimes to stand out for hours and hours and hours and hours and try and get into conversations with people. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You're handing out flyers, even if one person takes 5 people reject your flyer, one of them takes it away, you're at least giving them an opportunity to learn about the Quran. You're giving them an opportunity to get a copy of the Quran. You're giving them an opportunity to learn about Islam. And that itself is a powerful message. So something we have to keep in mind is success comes by standing here. Success comes by having a pure intention. Success comes by putting in hard work. Success is not just that you have a conversation, people take flyers, people take copies of the Quran, or they take Shahada. Success is broader than that. Success is the effort. Remember, on the Day of Judgment, some prophets will have no followers at all, right? Now, what does that mean? They're not rewarded? Of course they're rewarded, because they put in the work, they put in the effort, they put in the energy, they put in the passion, they put in so much of their soul into the work of dawah. So we are here in central London giving the message of Islam, regardless of the challenges or the fact that today is a day that maybe the footfall isn't as great as we initially thought. It's okay, it's better than where we were a few days ago when we were here at night time. But nonetheless, we persevere, we try, and a lot of the people who are giving dawah all across the world, what you'll notice about them is they are patient, because that's how you get things done, through patience, through hard work, through effort. So brothers and sisters, carry on supporting the dawah. I'll show you guys here, we have some horses. That's quite a sight. So this is a very iconic location, and we're standing out here. It's bright and bold for everyone to see. Free copy of the Quran, whoever wants one. Hello sir, how you doing? Have a nice day. See, smile, even if he doesn't take it, have a nice day. You never know, next time he stops, he may actually take a copy of the Quran. Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, no worries. Hello. So one of the things which is very, very important is always coming with all your materials in order, because here we have realized today there are people who want the Spanish Quran but we don't actually have it. What does it go to show you? It goes to show you, as you go out there, you give dawah, you realize there's certain avenues that you can explore. So one of the things we're going to look at is to bring some Spanish materials here, because people are actually interested. So what we're thinking about now is actually multiple languages, not just Spanish. The other thing to keep in mind is we have some sweets at the stall. Some people just come over to take some sweets, but then that allows us to have a conversation. Remember, whatever works. I remember there was a dawah table in Portsmouth and there are donuts on the table. So maybe donuts work, maybe coffee works. Whatever it is, the fact is we have to try, we have to put in effort, and inshallah Allah will bless us. Hello. Hello, my friend. Meeting. Free chocolate? Yeah, of course you can. Are you guys from Colombia?
Ecuador.
I've been to Ecuador. I was staying in Quito.
Okay. I'm from Ecuador by living all my life in Spain.
Spain, right.
6 years, I go to Spain.
Oh, nice, nice. And you come here London for a holiday?
No, I live here.
Oh, you live here now? Okay, okay. How do you find it?
¿Cómo lo encuentro? Yeah, it's not bad. For Spain, it's more wet, better weather, the food.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, good. We're handing out free copies of the Quran. Do you like one? You know,
What is this?
you know the Quran, we're Muslims. So you have Bible, Biblia, and then you have Quran. We're Muslims, yes. Have you ever heard of the Quran?
I see, but never.
Okay. It talks about Jesus, you say Jesus, Jesus, and Maria, Maryam. In fact, if you go to chapter 19,
What's up?
his English is quite good, isn't it? So this chapter is called Maria, 19, Maryam. And it tells, what we say as Muslims is Jesus, we say, is a prophet. He is a Messiah. But we say not son of God. We say God is one.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Yes. Yeah. Have a read of it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're going to school here?
Yeah.
His English is quite good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later.
To support, mashallah, I just saw that you had a conversation.
Yes.
How did it go?
Station.
The woman and the young lady just now.
Yeah, I mean they were basically from Ecuador, but living in. And I said, I've been to Ecuador, but
believe that, right?
yeah. They're surprised to hear that, but they moved to London, and the son could speak better English than.
Okay.
So when I was saying something, then the son would translate to her in Spanish.
Nice.
So then that was good, and then I just told her, look, sometimes brothers and sisters you have to be direct. So I just said, look, we believe Jesus is not the Son of God. Look, they're all Christians. Just tell them.
Yeah.
He's not the Son of God. She's like, I know.
No.
Khalas. So I said, here you go. I gave her a copy of the Quran to read. Khalas, that's it. Look, at the end of the day, it's not quantum mechanics, right? You give the message of Islam. What's the message of Islam? There's only one worthy of worship, which is Allah. Allah has no son. There's nothing like Allah. Well, look, just give them the core straight away.
Cool, yeah, the core message.
Yeah,
And
don't.
that's beautiful, look. And this is a great thing about London, right? Central London, Ecuador. Imagine all the way in Latin America.
The middle of nowhere. Remember, that's where Darwin discovered the finches.
Wow. there you
Galapagos
see.
Island.
Yeah, so look, it's on the other side of the world. She's probably on vacation, I guess.
No, she's moved to London.
Oh, she's moved here now. So
And look, brothers and sisters, this is what's happening, right? So her English was okay, but her son's English is better. However, what a thought that crossed my mind is, they're both going to go home. We spoke to some Muslims. We have a copy of the Quran. He, for sure, he's going to school in London. 20-30% of his class is Muslim. He's going to tell his friends, oh, hello, my friend. Hello, my friends. Hey, maybe you should.
I think he just wants,
he wants. Oh, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. It's confusing.
But
Yeah.
that's it. We use that as an opportunity to grab them. Help yourself to a chocolate.
Where were they from?
Bunch of Iranians, mashallah.
Iranian.
I told them that I've been to Iran and they were shocked.
Wow, actually that is shocking.
That is a good conversation starter with the Iranians. But yeah, look, people from all across the world, Ecuador, Iran, Japan, people are engaging, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. It's the beautiful thing about just being out here, and just engaging. It's just all it's all about, just having a conversation.
It is absolutely.
But there is no evidence of it.
God.
Hello, my friend. How are you doing?
Hello. Maybe is way science fiction. Okay, you like it? No problem. I know this.
So if I was to ask you a question, this information, discover the Quran, did this come by chance or did someone write this with intelligence? This information.
Okay, I reading next time and actual I go next.
Okay, no worries. Tabi.
Okay.
Thank you so much. The language barrier was very tough. Where was he from?
I didn't ask him. Just so it's
The language barrier was very tough. For him, it's just we came from the monkey. That's it. That's it.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that conversation.
The guy had quite a complicated background, to be honest, right? He's actually from, I think, Turkey, maybe a bit Kurdish as well. Said something like he believes in God in his heart, sort of thing, right? He believes in one God, but he feels that he can't commit to the religion because he said there'll be a lot of things he has to start doing, like praying and whatever, making dua, keeping clean, and all these rituals.
He was not Muslim.
He wasn't a Muslim, no. He wasn't. Well, he said, I don't follow any religion. But I believe in God. Allah.
Do you know when you do it vertically,
Yeah.
that makes it easier to find when you're scrolling,
But they would say,
isn't it?
He was a
That's better.
In iPhone, they give you the option to do it. In Samsung, if you do it, they force you to follow like the vertical.
cultural thing, yeah.
Get it?
Obviously,
Ah,
In iPhone, give you that option and he keep vertical.
ah.
In Samsung, won't probably horizontal.
Okay. And this is iPhone.
No, this is Samsung. This is iPhone.
Ah,
This one, I can do it, but later he will force me to.
ah. So iPhone's better. We're giving out free copies of the Quran.
Thank you.
Would you like?
I don't speak English.
Okay.
But I'm Muslim.
Okay. Good. He's Muslim.
so basically, had a lot of I don't know if he was homeless, addictions and issues, and they're kind of like pushing. I left him on a good note. I said to him, at the end of the day, ask him his spirit.
Hello. Hello, my friend. Hello. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? Have a nice day. You want a free copy of the Quran?
You only live once. There's nothing to do with but naturally, inclination, we know as Allah made us, right?
So may Allah guide this man. I felt quite sorry for him because he's down in the down and out sort of thing, down in the dumps, addictions, doing some wrong things or whatever. But life wasn't nice.
The important thing here is you always have to go back to our religion, right? When the Prophet came to the message of Islam, he came to the religion. Number one, they were committing shirk in Makkah, in the Kaaba.
Hello.
They were worshiping an idol. That's the greatest sin you can commit. He grew up in that environment.
Hello, my friend. How you doing? Hello. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey guys, how you doing? Free copy of the Quran. Hello, free copy of the Quran. Free copy of the Quran. Free copy of the Quran. Free copy of the Quran.
They are consuming, obviously, alcohol.
Yeah.
They're consuming intoxicants. When we're giving dawah to them, that's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on number one, Tawheed, just like the Prophet ﷺ did. because the transformation happens after you embrace Islam.
100%. So that the power of Tawheed is that those other things will just dissolve. So once the Tawheed is strong, once you've got Allah on your side, brothers and sisters, Allah on your side, the sky is the limit. I'm literally
I actually have a friend that lives in St. Petersburg.
Ah,
Yes,
great
yes,
city, but it's
yes,
very cold,
Yes.
like London.
yeah. A lot of Russians come to Istanbul, but I haven't seen many Russians in London.
I've seen quite a lot of Russian speaking.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, because I can hear the language. And I
Oh,
studied
okay.
from Russian. They talk to each other.
Okay, okay, brilliant. So we're just giving out free copies of the Quran. You can take a copy if you like.
Thank you. It's in English.
It's in English, yes.
Ah,
Your English is pretty good. I think you can
oh,
understand
thank
it.
you.
Would you like a copy? Sure. Are you religious? Do you believe in any God or
Not
religion?
really.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Like, one girl, she's new at my job and she's a Muslim, so I'm kind of
Okay.
interested, like what
Sure.
she thinks about it. She's from Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes. Russia has a lot of Muslims.
Yeah, well,
Charteristan. There was this part in Russia called Kazan.
yeah.
There was a lot of Muslims there too. And Ingushetia, Dagestan, Chechnya.
Yeah,
I think,
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
We have a lot of them.
A lot.
Multi-religious.
Yeah. It's mostly Orthodox, isn't it? Mostly Orthodox
Yeah,
Christian.
mostly, yeah, but it depends on the region, because in some regions, like, not really Orthodox or Muslims, like a lot of them.
And you have Catholics as well?
I guess a little. We have in Moscow, like, 2 Catholic churches, I guess, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mostly it's
It's a public funded, I guess.
Okay. Okay, good. So, like yourself, do you believe in God or you don't believe in God? Your own
Not
belief.
really, I'm kind of an agnostic. I
Agnostic.
guess. Yeah.
If I was to give you an example that this information, can it come by chance or did an intelligence write this information? What do you think? Any information that you see, is it from chance or is it from a mind, intelligence that wrote this?
This?
Any information that you see, any letters that you see, are the letters, like, for example, we have in our DNA, we have coding, right? Right? So where did the coding come from? So when we look at nature, we look at our eye, when we look at our brain and the sky and the whole world, just like a mobile phone has a designer, creator, in the same way we say there's a creator behind everything.
Well, yeah, but the main problem is, like, who created the creator? And if creator created itself, why couldn't DNA created itself too? So it's like a reverse question, isn't it? If it's... yeah.
There's another way of thinking about it. It's interesting, which is, if we say this has a creator, then where did the creator come from? And if we keep asking that question, going back, it can't go back forever.
Yeah.
So there has to be a first cause. In fact, this is something Aristotle realized as well. When you say, where did this come from? It came from here. Where did this came from here? You have to stop somewhere because this exists. The chain can't go back forever.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, we don't know where we can go. How far can we go to...
Yes, we don't know how far, but we do know that it has to stop, or else we wouldn't exist.
I don't know. It's like, if it's not, what if it's like circular thing? Yeah.
How could it be circular?
How could it end and start somewhere if we don't know if it will end? Can we say that it had a beginning in the first place?
Okay, we can logically, because Aristotle gave a very good argument for this. When it comes to us right now, we do exist. There's no denying that we exist, right? Even if in our minds, but we exist. We came from a cause. That cause came from a cause. It can go back either forever or it has to stop. There's only 2 options. And if it goes back forever, then we wouldn't exist because it would be going back forever. There'd be infinity all the way back. So we do exist, so that it's like this. Imagine myself right now. I want to pick this table up, and you need 2 people to pick it up. So I go to him and I say, can you help me pick up the table? He says, yes, but I'm going to ask him. And then that person says, I'm going to ask him. Can I ever pick up the table? It's impossible.
Well, yeah. It's just, I guess the main problem is like the concept of time. If we know, like, the continuation is actually, time is created by humans in some sort, and actually we exist in every single second. And I guess it's
a difficult concept of space-time.
Yeah, space-time and everything else. So we don't really know if it is
and they do correlate
linear.
to each other. So, for example, if you're traveling faster than closer to the speed of light, the time goes slower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, look,
Yeah, and if you go as fast as you can, there is a chance that you will stop, like everything freeze. So yeah, the concept of traveling and time and space.
Look,
that's cosmological stuff.
yeah, I mean, that doesn't really complicate it too much, because the fact is, all of those things do not impact the fact that there was a beginning to the universe. There was some time in which everything began, right?
Well, I don't know, like maybe half a year ago, I started to question it a little bit more, and well, sometimes I just want to know something more than I already knew, and there is actually no common theory about that, even among scientists or among,
because science changes.
So yeah, and so I suppose scientists don't really like to say out loud that they're sure about something if they're not. So,
Yeah, they can't, because science goes through revolutions. It goes through changes.
it's not
No,
even
it's
about
different with scientists. They say, oh, we are sure about this, and then another scientist says, no, you're wrong, I'm right, and then it's a constant, rebellion with this science.
That happens too. That happens
They
too.
cannot prove anything at this point.
Yes, that happens too. But what it can't change, science can change, but logic doesn't change. For example, I cannot be here and be in Paris at the same time. That's a contradiction. So logic is not.
But an electron can be.
That's an. Okay.
She's a chemist, actually.
I am a chemist and a little bit of quantum chemistry.
Okay,
So
but then.
quantum tunneling.
Yeah, but then I would say that's a Copernican interpretation of quantum mechanics. I don't have to accept that.
Sure, then we don't have to accept your theory.
No. No. What I mean is, look, you have Copenhagen, many worlds, informational. You have all these different interpretations of quantum mechanics, but that doesn't make a difference to what we're saying of the basic logical argument that behind design there's a designer, behind a cause there's.
I guess logic
There is
actually is very different. Well, we came abroad, and logic is very, very different in each country. Like, people think differently, people see things.
Those are values. Look,
Yeah, but at
values
the
and
same
morals.
Time, people see different things, like, I don't know, even society, like how we treat elderly. Do we prefer, would they say, for example, elderly, not the child, or would they say the child, not the elderly? It's very different, it's moral, but it is logical for them to look for one thing, not for another.
Yeah,
for
so
example.
those are different morals and values.
Yeah, but it's also about logic. Like, if a person lives in in a forest, like ancient people, I would suppose, they would think that something could appear like by itself because we weren't making lots of things. So I guess logic would change over time. And
I'll give you an example.
societies-
I sort of see what you're saying. I'll give you an example from Nietzsche. Nietzsche said, if you crush a cockroach, you're a hero. If you crush a butterfly, you're a villain. But so he said, there's a form of something looking beautiful which impacts whether it's right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
However, what's not different is that there is a person either killing or not killing. There is a person taking life or not taking life. Logic is different to morality and aesthetics. These are different things. So when it comes to the beginning of the universe or design, say the basic design that we have, the example I gave earlier of information, the information that we have in the DNA, you did chemistry, right? So you know that in our liver, in our brain cells, in our heart cells, it's all the same genetic code, the DNA. It's the same. But it's expressed differently due to the commands that are given. Now, all of this stuff is pointing out to intelligence, isn't it? Can it be intelligence or can it be chance? That's the question. And I think it makes much more sense that it's intelligence than chance.
Intelligence is quite complex, whereas the chance is not. So if the beginning is not as complex as the world is now, it makes more sense like evolving something. And if the beginning is such a complex creature who could do, I don't know, complex stuff, why wouldn't it make it different?
That's a really interesting question.
We are very flawed, and our world is, and we don't even know what is beyond our solar system.
Yeah,
it's not a lot. And if it was created like all these things, how could we know that we were not made by chance, for example? Like,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but here's why I don't agree with it. You're referring to Occam's razor. Things need to be simpler as you go back.
well, yeah.
Yeah. The issue is that's an assumption that things should be simpler. That's simply an assumption because
Yeah, all of these things are in assumptions,
yeah,
I guess.
but as your friend pointed out, quantum mechanics is quite complicated. Newtonian mechanics was quite simple, but it turned out that general relativity and quantum mechanics makes more sense than Newton's simplistic mathematical model of the universe. So sometimes things become more complicated as you get down to the molecular level rather than getting simpler. For example, it's simpler the whole world is made of indivisible atoms. That's much simpler than quantum mechanics, right? Simplest explanations aren't always the best.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Can I give you another angle to think about? Because we had a really lovely conversation. There is the logical domain and there's the spiritual domain, right?
Spiritual, you refer to...
As in we have souls, we have consciousness, we're not just machines. There's something within us. People call it the immaterial mind, people call it consciousness or the soul. But there's something there. Sorry?
Or chemistry.
Well, actually, that's one thing neuroscientists agree about, which is anything that they study, they assume is physical. That's an assumption. There's no evidence for this. So
There is evidence that nerves, for example, are being affected by our emotions, or emotions are being affected by the nerves.
yes.
And by chemicals, actually,
And by
in our,
chemicals,
yeah, in our system. So.
Yeah. So there's a correlation, right? But the correlation does not explain everything. So, for example, if you don't have a brain, you don't have a mind, obviously. So they're linked, but it's not the same thing.
Actually, it's very difficult to talk about the mind and self-consciousness, I guess, because the level of consciousness is very different from plants to animals to humans, and we cannot really know what they are thinking or how they are behaving and why they are behaving that way.
Yeah.
Like, are we so different?
But do we need to go that far? Because I don't know what you're thinking. You don't know what I'm thinking. As in, no one knows. No one knows.
I exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one knows.
The thing is that we exist only in someone's imagination, and in reality we don't. But someone, like my sister, for example. But it's actually, I've heard about the theory. I don't know how it's called.
Idealism.
Well,
Everything is the mind.
Yeah.
That's idealism. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So it's like nothing exists except you, and the things you see, it's only in your
Yeah.
head, and in reality there is nothing.
So there was this famous philosopher, and he was a Christian thinker as well. His name was Bishop Berkeley. He's the one who came up with this idea. Now the interesting thing about this idea is you can never prove it or disprove it.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. Look, the world starts off with assumptions.
Yeah.
Either the universe always existed or God always existed. You can't, before, obviously you're from the former Soviet Union,
Yeah.
what used to be the Soviet Union.
That's true.
When the Big Bang Theory was discovered, do you know that the Russian scientific community was quite apprehensive about it? Because they believed the universe to be eternal. Now, eventually they accepted it because there was enough scientific evidence. However, it gave credence to theism more because it showed the universe had some sort of beginning. Now, obviously, science can change and they can go back to an eternal universe. But again, it just goes to show you that sometimes ideology for people is more important than reality. And I'm saying, let's be honest that there's assumptions everywhere.
Assumptions everywhere, yeah. Actually, about the Big Bang, I guess it's not a confirmed theory. So
No theories,
there are
yeah.
lots of theories, and it's only one of the many. And others, some are easier, some are more complicated. I try to dig in, and it's like if you're not a physicist or a chemist, it's so hard to grasp everything. Like all
Yes.
the scientific things.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Enjoy London.
For the conversation. Thanks.
Well-
To see a Big Bang.
Yes, enjoy. And in fact, you can walk around all over London. There's a really big mosque in London. Yes, of course, of course. There's a really big mosque in London. It's called the Central Mosque. It's about 80, 90 years old. It's a historic building. So have a look at that as well when you can.
Okay.
Have a nice day, guys. So I was talking to two Russian women. They initially, in the conversation okay, now this is really, really important, right? When you are initially speaking, you can see that the person's going to walk away. To hook them in, you got to ask questions like, are you enjoying London? How is it? Oh, I know someone in St. Petersburg, blah, 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 to reel them in. Then when you start speaking, remember the GORAP, God's existence, oneness, revelation, and prophethood. So, you just want to speak about God. You just want to speak about God's existence. Now, they're not accepting God's existence, so we just had to stick on that. So they started talking about quantum mechanics, started talking about relativity, started talking about time and all this stuff. But the fact is, bring them back to basics. Bring them back to something simple. Can a mobile phone or DNA or any of these things, isn't it good evidence of a designer? That's it. So we had a lovely conversation, left on a good note, gave them a smile at the end, told them to have a nice day, and that's it, brothers and sisters. You just give the message of Islam. Whether they accept or they don't accept, it's entirely up to them.
MashaAllah. I saw that you went into a bit of a detailed conversation with some detail. Was she like an atheist? Like was she coming?
Yeah, no, she was definitely an atheist. So every single time I was making an argument, she was saying, yeah, but that's because the universe can, as in, where did God come from? So then I gave her the infinite regress example. Yes. It can't go back forever. She got stuck. Then it went to consciousness. Before consciousness meant somewhere else. What it is really, Salahuddin, it's not to do with logic. Yeah. This was. It looks like a logical conversation. It's not. The fact is, as I pointed out to her in the end, everyone starts off with an assumption. Yes. Everyone starts off with an assumption, right? So it's not just science. Like, I said to her, I can't be in here in France at the same time. And the other one said, well, according to quantum mechanics, you can. I said, well, that's a model, which is an assumption. Yeah. And then she went quiet. Because the thing is, look, let's be honest, these are excuses.
Excuses, they know. And you see, like, I saw the conversation, you were jumping from one point to another point to another point, just to avoid basically agreeing to the point that's what makes more sense, that there's a creator to all of this, right? Yeah. She was avoiding that at all costs by jumping from this idea to this idea to this idea. Yeah. How did it end then?
Look, at the end of the day, you have to look when the conversation is not going to go any further. You need to set up the ground for the future. Now, some brothers are like, take your shahada. No. It's like they don't even believe in God. Even if they believe in God, even if you've explained everything, you should push for the shahada. But they're not even at God yet. So what you got to do at this point is you got to end it nicely so that they read the Quran. I wanted to talk to her about spirituality. She didn't want to. She was like, oh, it's just chemistry. And the fact is, she knows what I'm talking about. She knows what I'm talking about. She knows. So I wanted her to talk about praying, but she was not having it.
But you know what's amazing?
It's really funny because she came across really soft and quiet, but then I realized she's quite fiery.
Yeah, I noticed she started getting really animated.
And her sister was also a hardcore atheist type. They're really polite though. Polite, friendly, but they were, it was back and forth. Yeah.
But the good thing is, Sabur, look, with us just being out here, she was enabled in the conversation about God, about Islam, to make her consider these things. In a normal sort of situation, she would have just been on her way, and she would have never had that conversation. She would never be thinking about these things. Now she's going to be thinking about these things because we're here.
No, definitely, Salahuddin. And just to add to that, what is our job? Our job is to initiate the conversation. Now, is it the case that Khalid bin Walid, he heard the message of Islam, became Muslim? No, he rejected Islam. He argued against Islam. He fought the Muslims. He gave them a taste of defeat. He is somebody who was rejecting. What did the Prophet ﷺ do? Still gave him the da'wah, and then he accepted. So the fact is, look, it's not flyer, go rap, shahada. It doesn't
work like that. That's
not work like that. No. But I'll be honest, look, brothers and sisters, in that conversation, it looked like she never got to believe in God. But do you know what it is in reality? She did realize in the conversation, it's all assumptions. It's not in the beginning, it's all chemistry. No, it's not. These are all assumptions and ideas. And then even she herself was saying, well, scientists, say this, then her sister contradicted her. So look, the fact is, we just need to point out to them that, look, ultimately, this is the truth. This is the message of Islam. You're talking with certainty with what you believe, but do you know what? There is no certainty there.
Yeah, that's good. Alhamdulillah. And that's amazing. So, brothers and sisters, as you can see, again, amazing conversations happening here in London.
Gave her a card for ordering the Quran. I said, these are our values, honesty, truthfulness, uprightness, and she understood clearly that's not your religion, right? And Salah corrected me, put a hand into it, prayed to her, prayed to you. He said, no, give her a copy of the Quran. Then he raced back, we went back to her, and we spoke to her, both of us, and he gave her a copy of the Quran. He said, look, she couldn't refuse because of hypocrisy to refuse someone to return your possessions. And this is what happens in the amazing, exciting world of Dawah. It's incidents, right? You can't control it, you don't expect it, and you see these miracles in the Dawah. It's amazing to see.
But logic is the one in the next one. And it doesn't engage. So, okay, now this conversation started with there is, if I can make the interpretation. I'm so live.
Assalamu alaikum. No, I've got the mic on me and we're live at the moment. Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Some time which everything began, right? I just, a year ago, I started to watch something. I don't want to know what's happening more. And yeah, because science changes. So yeah. I suppose scientists don't really like to say out loud if they are yeah, because I don't want to know what's happening. Yeah, because science changes. So yeah. I suppose scientists don't really like to say out loud if they are they can't pick out science don't have right. It's fine. It's like oh, we are sure about this, and then now it's like no, you're wrong. It's a concept.
Hello. Hi, my friend. How you doing?
Tom, marhaban. I need to be Tom.
Good, good.
So what's going on? What are you doing?
We're just giving out free materials, free copies of the
What's
Quran.
are you filming? No. It's all good. No, don't want to be on. Don't want to be on tape. Who's? Well, that's nothing bad.
Yeah. We've got a campaign called discoverthequran.co.uk. So what we do is we just hand out flyers, speak to people, give out some sweets and some copies of the Quran, and we're gonna hopefully get some Spanish and Italian, but mostly English at the moment.
Good for you. Yeah, why not?
So you know a bit of Arabic then?
A little bit. I've been to Palestine a few times.
Oh wow!
Egypt and and I was in Beirut quite recently.
Oh okay.
Where are you guys from?
Originally Pakistan.
London, but Pakistan.
Yeah, originally.
Nigeria. Algérie. Ah, vous parlez français aussi? Un peu, okay.
It's almost assumed Algerians speak French,
You
isn't
do
it?
assume that, but I guess it's not.
Long time I didn't practice. That's why I start to do it. Even I speak Italian, I understand everything, but it's hard for me to bring words. No, just keep it.
Oh, because I need to make a phone call.
I'd like to. I'm with my fiance. We're not married. And we see together, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
How do you separate out the moral good and the dawa? You could be a Muslim but still be somebody that's doing things like Islam. Now, there's a different thing going on in your head about truth. Sure. Do you believe in God? Do you believe there's 100%. Okay. So you believe that somebody... Do you believe in prophets, like God sends prophets and stuff? And messengers?
I believe in Al-Qatar. I think that everything is planned out for us. I think that, it's predestined.
Oh wow, okay.
100%.
That is quite a liberating thought, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 100%. You can behave in a certain way, but you know that you're being guided by God. I believe that.
Oh, interesting.
But also I think that it doesn't make you immoral to go for a glass of wine and to have relationships with people.
So,
you love and will marry.
But do you know that to consent, you don't have to give up those things first? Obviously, Islam doesn't allow those things. Accepting Islam is
but what gets you in heaven? Because will you go to?
What we're told by the Prophet, peace be upon him, is anyone who testifies to Islam that there's none worthy of worship except Allah and Muhammad is his messenger, they go to paradise. Now, if somebody commits a sin, some people are addicted to alcohol, some people, whatever it is, interested, whatever it is, Islam prohibits some of these things.
Sure.
That's a different thing to what you believe. Because you can believe in Islam, it could be outlined with Islam, and it could be that later on you grow out of the things.
Sure.
You see, it's not that you still go to paradise eventually because you're a Muslim. No matter how bad you may be as a Muslim, you're guaranteed paradise if you die upon La ilaha illallah, which means there's none worthy of worship except Allah. Yeah.
God, that's interesting. You
didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. It's fascinating.
Yeah, you should take a shot. So look, look, you believe in, obviously, there's the divine force, there's God.
Yeah.
But we believe in Satan, Shaitan, we call him, right?
Yeah.
Shaitan wants people not to accept Islam. So Shaitan will say things like, sorry, what's your name? Tom, you need to be living a certain way before you accept Islam, else you'll be a hypocrite. And that's what it sounds like Shaitan saying to you. What I'm saying to you is, accept regardless of where you are. Soho, right? And it's known for gay bars and gay clubs. Now, if a gay person comes to me and says, I'm interested in Islam, I'm not going to say give up your gay lifestyle. Your belief in God is something that you discuss first before anything else.
Yeah, right.
See, somebody can be a Muslim, but they may have addiction to alcohol or this or that, whatever it is. They're still a Muslim. And it's better to be a Muslim than a non-Muslim.
But ultimately, you go to the same place. So you're a Muslim, you're not gay, you're straight, you have your religion, whatever it is. And you're fast track to heaven, and the gay person might have to go through some different
look,
purgatory, we say.
Yeah.
You have the same thing? Or?
We have something different, right? is, God is not pedantic accountant. If somebody really genuinely is trying to be a good person, they've accepted Islam, if they've never heard of Islam, they're accountable for that.
I understand that.
So, secondly, somebody that dies in the Amazon forest, never heard of it. But the person that receives the message, they accept it. Do you know what? They carry on drinking, they cannot give up these things. But they are genuinely trying to change. What we say in Islam is God is the most merciful.
It's nuance though, isn't it? It's nuanced, you know.
Of course it is.
I can hear the message. I'm not gay, but I think I'm gay. I absolutely love that. I hear your message and maybe I'll one day change. Hopefully I do. But then you get hit by a bus on the way to changing and you've made no...
But I'll give you one example that the Prophet told us about. There was a man who killed 99 men. I don't know if you know the story.
No, I don't know the story.
He killed 99 men. Then he went up to somebody and he said, is there any redemption for me? And the guy said, someone like you and someone like you, there's no redemption. So he killed him again.
Really?
100. Then he went to an Islamic scholar and said, is there any redemption for me? I killed 100 people. He said, you're living in a bad environment. Go travel to another town, as in live a break away from this society, whatever it is. Go to the other town. He was walking to the other town and he died in the middle. So the angel came to take him to paradise. The angels of paradise said he was on his way to the town. The angels of fire said, but he didn't reach the town. So what happened is they were told to measure the distance. If he's closer to the town, the good town, he goes to paradise. If he's closer to this town, he goes to hellfire. God changed the earth so that the man is closer to the other.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
That's
And what's the moral here? God's mercy. Look, what do Muslims say before we eat, before we do anything, before we say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? God is the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. Now what does it mean? Mercy, the Prophet described, is it?
It's sugar-free iron.
Thank you. God says that he is more merciful to his servant than a mother is to their child. So you have to keep these things in mind, yeah. And if you have a copy of the Quran, you have a copy of the Quran?
I don't know.
You can take one. Have a read.
Yeah.
And look, at the end of the day, better to take your Shahada than not take your Shahada.
Let's see.
And you get hit by a bus now, so you should take it now. There's a lot of buses here.
That's true. That's really interesting. We've spoken about Western high society, you know?
Sorry?
You know, and with the news at the moment, you know, it's all us v them, but it is a message of peace, and it's beautiful. And I've read the Quran, and
Oh, really?
it's such a shame that everything's going on in the world, because...
Everything, brother, is a test.
Yes.
Like when I have a child, I have everything is a test.
Yeah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this earth, this life is a test. Our real life is the after one.
Yeah.
And each one use it like what he wants. Or you pass the test or not.
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, you came here today. You weren't planning on talking to me. I wasn't planning on talking to you. It's Qadr. It's predestined.
Yeah.
The fact that we were going to have this conversation here in this spot, and I was just engaged in a long debate with two atheists, right?
Really?
It could have been that you walked past a minute earlier, 5 minutes earlier, I was busy with them, we never got to speak. And you never got to hear these nuances. Look, at the end of the day, it's not really about what I say. It's about what God wants you to do in your life. What do you think God wants from you, Tom?
Hey, to look after my child and to work hard and to work with God ultimately.
And perhaps God wants you to be guided to Islam.
Yeah. It's tricky. I mean, you know, you've got no woman standing with you today. Do you have a woman?
We do actually, we have a stall just down the road, and the other day we did have one of the women that came with us. Generally women, we don't have a problem with them standing at the stall and speaking to people about Islam. In fact, we get more women talking to them. But generally, women women do not want to come forward and put themselves in a position.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But if you come down to the other table, which we have on Friday nights from 7 till about 11 o'clock, there, you'll see women there.
Yeah, they come like from 4, they stay like at 7, something like that.
And why is it that time?
Depends on the person if he's free
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah, I mean, look, London as a city, women come and then they wouldn't really be comfortable to travel at home alone at certain times. We want people to learn about Islam. We want people to know about Islam. We want people to not have these negative stereotypes.
Yeah, I get that.
And it does actually help to have this sort of talk it out. Yeah.
It's been very interesting meeting you.
You
Thank
too.
you very much.
We want you to
Keep in touch.
Understand.
Get the message. Speak to you later. That drink smashed it, man. Where is it?
It's all done, bro. I'll get
Oh,
some
no.
more. I'll get some more.
Where did you get it from?
I got it from the office side.
I'm so it's nice.
I'll try and get some extra ones, inshallah.
Yeah.
Hi guys, free Quran.
That guy's been to Palestine. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. I'll do it like this.
Remember,
Yeah.
went out of bed. He's taking my phone. I need to pay it, I'll forget. Do you know what? I come in the evening, you just miss it. I come in 3 minutes past 6.
Yeah.
I'll go there. Let me get it.
We'll talk soon, inshallah, see how the hour, inshallah, to fix it. It's from source from the.
Stockholm, nice, nice, nice. Do you know much about Islam?
I know little. I have a lot of Muslim friends.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay. Well, yeah, university, college?
Gymnasium, yeah.
Gymnasium, what do you call that? University?
Like high school, basically.
High school, nice, nice, nice. So, do you believe in God yourself? Do you have a religion or anything?
Not really. I believe in a higher power.
Okay, interesting, interesting. So, do you know what Muslims believe about God?
One creator.
One creator, nothing like his creation, nothing like a human, and we don't believe Jesus to be the Son of God.
Oh, yeah.
And we believe that that one God, if you worship that one God, you'll have happiness in life.
Yeah.
I'll ask you guys a question. If I gave you $1 billion right now, you and you,
Yeah.
and then for 1 year, you could do anything you want,
Yeah.
spend your life, do whatever. What would you do with that money?
I would experience as much as possible.
Yes,
I'd
that's what
probably
everyone
try
says.
and share the happiness with other people, to see other people laugh and smile.
Okay, good. Now, what if I made a small condition, which is, I will give you $1 billion and $1 billion, but you will not have any friends or family, and you cannot communicate with anyone. Would you rather have $1 billion or live your lifestyle right now?
Is it for 1 year?
It's for life.
For life. Ooh, I'd probably not take the money then. I'd probably
Okay,
live with my family and
interesting,
friends.
interesting.
No, I agree. Being able to communicate is very important.
Yeah, because you have millionaires and billionaires who are sad because they have no family, and the family turns against them because of inheritance issues and all this stuff. Okay,
Agreed.
that means we value relationships more than we value materials.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, the greatest and the highest relationship you can have is with God.
God, yeah.
So this is what we Muslims do. We Muslims, mashallah, you say, yeah. So what we Muslims say is that ultimately it's about having a pure relationship with God. Because look, sometimes in other religions it tells you to get to God you have to go through Jesus. To get to God you have to go through Ganesh or a saint like the Catholics do. Islam says you and God, that's it.
Yeah.
And there's a promise in the Quran which is, God tells us, whoever believes in Him, whoever remembers God, God will give them inner peace. And look, we know, have you ever seen the stories of those people that win lotteries?
Yeah.
They go on a binge.
Yeah, and then they
really
just
sad.
end up
really
And they end up in the same position. Sometimes there's a famous guy in the UK a few years back, he was a binman. Nothing against the hardworking people that do bins, but anyway, he became a millionaire, won the lottery, did all the vices he wanted, then just ended up back becoming a bin man again. So the fact is, there's no point, you guys are young, spending the next 20, 30, 40 years trying to fulfill all your desires when none of those things lead to happiness. Ultimate happiness is to know what the meaning of life is, what the purpose of life is, and to have a relationship with God. So I recommend you read the Quran, because ultimately until and unless you know the purpose of life, there's no happiness.
What do you think the purpose of life is?
The purpose of life is to have a direct relationship in which we worship God alone. Worship means we love God, we have hope in God, we have fear in God. So, love is the highest value. Do you agree?
Yeah.
It's the highest value. There's no value higher than. God says in the Quran that some people that they worship and love more than God, when God is deserving of that love. Because look, in this life, a normal family, if you ask a child, who do you love more? They will eventually say their mom more than their dad. They will. God is more affectionate to his believers than a mother is to his child. So what we try and share with people is, look, Islam is not what you see in the media, the news, war, this, that. No, it's ultimately a human being realizing the purpose of life is to worship God alone. And look, Moses, Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, all of them, they all came with the same message.
Yeah.
You know, all these religions and
Love
all
each
the
other.
the differences came by people making changes. The pure religion is to worship God alone, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, came with the Quran. The Quran is unchanged in 1400 years.
Yeah.
The Bible was changed over time. This is why you have so many different versions, so many different things.
Stuff like that.
But the Quran is the same, and when you read it, you will realize that it is the truth. Because look, my name is Sabur.
Yeah.
I stand out here, I talk to people about Islam. You don't know me.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I could be someone that's lying to you right now.
Yeah.
God doesn't lie. So if you worship God, ask God, is this the truth? Read the Quran with an open, sincere heart. If you ask God for guidance, he will guide you.
Yeah.
So that's our basic message today.
Thank you, man. That's really nice. That's fun to hear.
Enjoy London.
Yeah, Thank you. Nice to meet you. Do you want these books back?
No, it's a gift for you.
I'll lose it if I keep it. I'm gonna be honest.
Your friend can keep one then. For you. He'll keep one for
Yeah.
you. That's all.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you so much. Fun
Thank
to
you.
listen to.
See you later. So you have some young men there who are, you know, they kind of know a little bit about Islam. First interaction. Remember, people do not remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. So what did I want them to do? I wanted them to understand Islam is about having a relationship with Allah. Islam is about believing in one God. Islam is about having a direct connection. It's different to other religions in that you worship God alone. Have a copy of the Quran, read it, reflect about it, and that's it. You don't need to push them any further, because I could see, okay, now they've got the message, okay, on your way. Because, you know, people think it's always about they have to take the Shahada now when they come. No, you leave them on a positive note. They have Muslim friends, they can interact with people, they have material to take away. So I hope the audio is picked up on that. They could see the conversation. Light, bright, happy, smiley, cheerful, and let them be on their way.
How was that conversation?
Very good. Very good. And I realized one person needs to be here because they kind of
like
and the sweet
the station.
they came for the sweets.
They came for the sweets, yeah?
The Russian woman came for the sweets.
SubhanAllah.
The thing is, I'm thinking next week we buy 7-8 of these boxes and leave them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even if less people come, they're just there.
They're just there to attract people, you know, to come.
I think
Inshallah.
Ayaz was calling, bro, if you want to call him.
Okay.
Free copy of the Quran.
But what do you think about the conversation with Tom?
It is a good conversation. He's somebody that's been to Palestine. He's somebody who's interested in Islam. Clearly, Shaitan is telling him, you need to be a perfect Muslim.
Yeah.
You can't be a Muslim if you have a girlfriend. You can't be a Muslim if you're drinking alcohol. But the fact is, it's better for him to be Muslim and commit sins than be a disbeliever. And he never heard that before.
have you a latte?
Free copy of the Quran. Free copy of the Quran. Free copy of the Quran.
I think these are the only Qurans that we got left now.
No way.
Allah Akbar. So we've given out. most of
So,
them.
you know, the thing about the boxes,
Yeah.
they're just props. Because I've noticed it's not just with the girl that was taking it, everybody, bro. Some people it's like an excuse for them to have a chat. Because clearly, even the Russian women, once they took the chocolates, they
Stopped,
wanted to talk.
I was thinking, alhamdulillah, we'll try and we'll have all of those boxes ready. In fact, I'm thinking of maybe just getting permanent ones that we can brand, and we just fill them up with chocolates, you know?
That's a good idea.
And basically people would just come, inshallah.
Actually, that's a brilliant idea. Just have a thingy.
Yeah.
Because that costs nothing.
Exactly.
The other thing is, I spoke to Saqib Ali. It's got that duck on there. We just need to pay for the premium because the audio and the sound quality, sort that out. People are learning. This is a good way of teaching Go Rap.
Of course, and people are Go Rap in action. you
Yeah.
know? People go to the courses, they go to the classes, maybe they'll do a little role play. But you know, when it comes to actually putting it into practice, people are hesitant.
Absolutely.
Right? But here you can see how we put it into practice.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Good. How are you doing?
Oh, the microphone. Oh, right, they can pick up everything.
Quran, free copy, free.
And we're going to continue the conversations going. Alhamdulillah, we've had a lot of good conversations here today, mashallah. You know, Discover the Quran is working. We're right outside the Palace Theatre here in London, mashallah. You know, Metadai's got the box of chocolates, he's handing them out as a means of drawing people in. And alhamdulillah, it's attracting people. You know, almost finished all of the Qurans that we've come out with, inshallah. So we're trying to get to more conversations with you guys, inshallah.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
carry on the conversation.
Just saw that woman from Iceland.
Yeah. The, what do you call it? Is it Baltic or whatever, right? So, look, she took a Quran, and the thing I noticed about her, which was, quite significant, is that she was so happy to receive that Quran.
What did you say?
Overjoyed. I don't know.
Do you remember her words?
Oh, you remind me.
I gave her the Quran.
Yeah.
And then she was taken aback.
Yeah.
And then I said, what? It's
free.
And what was her response?
Like, really? Is it free?
She couldn't believe it.
She
couldn't believe that we were giving her entire copy of the Quran free of charge.
That's it. People get dumbfounded. They get shocked, right? They're like, "What? It's free? How?" And that reaction is important. It's very important to look at the nuances, to watch this and understand the mindset. The mindset of the people out there, the people that maybe are not yet Muslims, right? And they're yearning. People are seeking. It's a place of a void basically without Allah, right? And the life can be, up and down. So people want that spiritual goodness. They want the blessings, the guidance, the peace that Islam brings, inshallah.
SubhanAllah, and that's it. She was so pleased, and then she always she thanked you as well. She did that little
She
gesture
kind of bowed and all that. Yeah, I did a heart touch sort of thing, but she was bowing. Yeah,
she was so happy. The main thing, she was so happy to take a copy of the Quran, and she actually thanked us for being out there.
She did.
And that's it. And that's the main thing, just being out here, making ourselves available as a Muslim community, sharing the message of Islam, sharing copies of the Quran with people from all across the world.
That's exactly it.
How many chocolates you got left?
One.
Can you see, look, one chocolate left. Right, who's going to be the lucky individual?
I'm going to buy some more, I think. Me! Somebody's going to take it.
Inshallah.
So like the last chocolate? Last chocolate, guys? Last chocolate, madam?
Probably got about 7 or 8 more left. No. Got it in the car. Well, no, bad take. That's right, mate.
Have a good read anyway.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Hi, guys.
Please, if you have any question, please come back.
Hi guys, last topic of today. You want
Like a copy of the Quran? Like a free copy of the Quran? Yeah, take it, it's free.
Free of charge for you.
Can you make a donation?
Yes, if you get me a copy of the Quran, Masada. What's your name? Fatima. Okay. So this is a copy of the Quran with Jimmy. We're not Muslims. You can make a donation if you like. You can take your donation. We're from a charity called Idea, and we focus on doing. A bag? Do you have a bag?
I don't have a bag at all. Carry bag.
Okay.
That's the equivalent bag.
Oh, so I thought you had to smoke as a present or something.
Can you just run to the shop and maybe see if there's a bag? Yeah? So I'll give you a bag. Yeah? So who's it good for? Oh, nice. Where are you from? Get a bag meted up. Just go to a shop and just ask around. Inshallah, yeah? There's a taco shop there. Go and ask them. Yes. So this is the clear Quran, and so it's a newer translation of the Quran by Dr. Muslim. And the reason he made this translation, he found a lot of the older translations were confusing, especially for the Muslims. So he's made it thematic. So thematic means that it is organized into chapters that makes it easier to read and follow, right? Which is good for non-Muslims, it's good for Christians. There's also a nice introduction into Islam about the Quran as well, at the beginning, right? So it's specifically designed actually for non-Muslims. And then even at the end, if someone wants to become a Muslim, it's got the Shahada there as well. So it's being designed specifically. And we're like from this charity called Ihira. You check us out, inshallah, and we have to kind of make Islam with the Quran. You know, and that's what we're doing. What did I going to go and give you a bag, inshallah. But yeah, this is like, what do you think of the work we're doing now? Do you have any comments or? Yes. So the Bible is very, when it comes to the Bible, obviously this is the religion of the Christian. As Muslims, we believe that the Quran came after the Bible, and it was the same message that was given to all of the prophets.
Well, the anti-Judaism we believe it came after that before, so...
Yeah, so we believe obviously it was God.
Yes, so that way, the little
Yeah, exactly. The main difference between Christianity and Islam is Islam will say that Jesus was a messenger for those people. Yes, some Christians will say like, you know, there's a Trinity, and you have God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and they will say, you know, they're all divine. We say, we believe that there's only one God, and that Jesus was the messenger. Which is a human being like me. I would say like no human being can be God, right?
Yes, also Christianity tries to explain irrationality or sanity with a person. Not atheism, but essentially the spirit of the idea of philosophy.
What do you think?
We've got a bag for you. So it's great that you put it in the ground. That was Sister Fatima. Her name was Fatima. but she was from Glasgow, and she basically said she wanted a copy of the Quran so that she could give it to her church, basically, and her church friends. So she also made a donation of £10, and so we just got her a bag, and then we just explained a few differences. So alhamdulillah, again, look, just being out there and engaging, someone's come to us and they wanted to take a copy of the Quran, and it's going to go all the way to Glasgow, Scotland, and subhanAllah, this is the work that we're doing and you can support. SubhanAllah, she wanted to make a donation, she gave us £10, subhanAllah, because she sees the value of this work and she wants to get the reward. So alhamdulillah, again, just by being out there and distributing the Quran.
So the Quran basically is a book that is revealed in Arabic, and this is the English translation. So the fundamental message is a brilliant. It doesn't really matter about translations. Some are like this wording or that wording. Just don't worry about the little details. The core message of the Quran is that there's one all-powerful God or creator. We call him God, we call him Allah, the one that made everything. Does that make sense? Yeah, you kind of have that belief already. You believe in a God or creator.
Yeah, I mean, I was raised in a Protestant church, raised in a choir, myself,
Oh yeah.
all that and everything, And obviously, as you grow up, you have some time where you looked away. I studied philosophy as well, I'm definitely sure that the source is the same. That's why I'm curious.
Good. You read that, study that with an open heart, that you will look into it. We believe it's God's speech, right? Obviously that's in Arabic, yeah? So I didn't really give you the Quran, I gave you the English translated meanings of the Quran, but it's the best thing for you because how are you going to access the Arabic? Do you understand?
I have one in Spanish.
I was going to say, in Spanish there's so many words of Arabic and want to be similar.
As well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But look, study it with an open mind, open heart. Say, look, that Muslim guy who I met in London, he gave me the Quran in English, I'm going to read it, and you'll find no problems in it, no inconsistencies, no contradictions. There's nothing nonsense, no nonsense in there. Everything adds up. It all makes sense. It's a very coherent, very logical, very beautiful, very succinct message, meaning that it's very elegant, yeah? And it talks to the heart, It tells people, worship the God and he will reward you. Does that make sense, brother, yeah? And the way what Allah says in the Quran, the God, what he says in the book, in the Quran, you'll find it, the reward is of two. Once in this life, in this short life, you get rewards, yeah? Goodness, guidance, benefit, nice things. And when you die, and everyone's going to die, you get rewarded with a paradise, the heaven, and you never die. You live forever. So the Muslims in this life, they're waiting for that next life. They will live forever. There's no sickness. There's no worries. There's no struggling, no work, no nothing negative, no illness, right? It's just a life of anything you wish for. God, he gives it to you straight away. You want a Ferrari, sports car, he'll give you the best one. Now, if I gave you a sports car here in this world, yeah, you got the sports car, it's like, oh my God, now I've got to pay the insurance, right? How many thousands is that going to be? Now I've got to make sure nobody scratches it. I've got to make sure it doesn't get rusty. I've got to pay the road tax, right? So there's all these problems, and eventually that Ferrari will get old, it'll get rusty. You may look after it, it's going to cost you money. There, it's all free, you never get bored, right? Yeah. You always enjoy the sports car. So the reward is of two. Now in this life, my friend, what Allah does, see, an example of the reward, see, some people think, oh, Muslims, you're like, what do you call it? You're not free. You cannot drink alcohol, you cannot have girlfriends.
Supposedly in Christianity it should be
yeah. But it's a good restriction. That's my point, brother, because like me, I don't drink alcohol, right? I'm not allowed to touch it, I don't drink alcohol. So I'm automatically protected. I can never die, right? Impossible. I can never die from drink driving. Drink driving, when the man who drink and he go over the limit and he crashed the car. He kill a baby, he kill a woman, he kill himself, yeah? Impossible for me, because I never touch the whiskey or alcohol or nothing, right? Yeah. So for me, it's not a loss. For me, every day I wake up, it's a massive gain because I'm protected. Do you understand? For me, it's like, you know what? Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah means all praise to God. I don't have any alcohol problem. I don't have any addiction. I'm not gambling. I'm not doing the wrong. Yeah, keep it, brother. Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah, please. No, that's good. I hope you don't mind, brother. I think we're doing like a little live stream on our charity channel. Yeah. What's your name, brother, by the way? I didn't.
Dre.
Dre, yeah? Dre.
But we know that.
Yeah. It's Murtaza. My name is more complicated, yeah. Murtaza. Yeah.
Nice
It's actually Murtada in the Arabic, Murtada, yeah. It means, it's one of the names of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings on him. It means the one to be pleased with. Because our Prophet had many names, like Mustafa. You may have heard this name. Mustafa, Turkish, yeah. So Mustafa, it means the chosen one. Murtada, it means the one to be pleased with, because people were happy with the Prophet. When he came, people were so happy, like, you're bringing guidance, you're taking us out of darkness into light, you know.
Here you are, you know.
And here we are, exactly, Dre, that's it, yeah. Dre,
I mean, like, you can also, just out of,
yeah,
I hope
you can
don't
ask.
take any of my questions, like, in
No,
any ways. Like,
no.
I'm just someone, like, I really like thinking, you know, like, I really...
Yeah, I noticed that talking to you, yeah. Which is good.
Like, I really like thinking, I really like questioning in general, you know.
Good. That's a good lifestyle, that's a good mind. That mind is brilliant, because then you're not like, what's the word you say? You're not like brainwashed or just, you know, I just believe the media, I just believe what my friend said, you know, you got your own mind, yeah? And that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to convert you to Islam. I'm saying you make your own decision. We leave you with Quran, with the evidence, and then you decide. No one pressurize you, do you understand?
One question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, as someone who grew up in church as well, you know, like, I'm not here to compare, like, any sort of religion, any sort of belief. I'm here just to ask one thing, which is, if you rely on the afterlife to be perfect,
good, yeah, good question.
You know, like, how is it? Is it like this life?
No.
Some sort of like testament for that. Is it some sort of test for that, or how do you see that?
What
you know?
it is,
because,
you know?
Sorry, like,
Yeah.
Like, for me, what always like really bothered me a bit in some sense.
Yes.
Is the fact that there's so much focus on what's going to happen after.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm here in front of you.
I get you. Well, the thing is, look, with that next life, right, the paradise, it's a different reality. You know, the reality is different, a different creation, if that makes sense, right? So, like I said, all the negativities of this life are removed.
It's okay if
yeah, you can do what you need to do, yeah. So, all the negativity is removed, Dre, yeah? So, there's no, like, what do you call it? There's no lowly actions. You know, in this life...
Do you think negativity is necessarily a bad thing?
Is a bad thing.
Do you think it is?
Look, in the sense of, in an absolute sense, yes, right? But in a relative sense, no, because if there was no evil, you wouldn't know what good is, right? We know the problem of evil and suffering, and all of the philosophy is there, that we know without bad is no good. You know, it's comparative. But in this life, in that life, it's a new reality. So God will recreate your body. He'll put the soul back in, and you'll go to the paradise, right? And in the paradise, you'll enjoy. The key thing is, the scholars described it, you know, the paradise, the scholars of Islam, they described it. They said that, look, you know, when someone gives you a gift, Dre, say I give you a gift, I give you an iWatch, right? Some gift, right? I think they call it smartwatch or whatever, right? My son tells me, don't call it iWatch, it's called a smartwatch or something, right? So I give you this watch, right? And it's an Apple Watch, and you're like, wow, that's an expensive watch, it's a gift. When you're excited, you're like, Dre, you're unboxing it, you're taking it out, you're going to program it, you're going to work it out, you're happy. So you got excitement, you're excited. And that excitement, the scholars of Islam, they described it that in the paradise, Dre, it keeps increasing. Do you get it? It keeps on and on. As time goes on, or the concept of time goes on, the excitement gets better and better and better. So as each day passes, you get more happy, more excitement, more pleasures. Yeah, it keeps increasing. So here, you can eat, I don't know, what's it called? Apple pie. You eat apple pie, the dessert,
very
right?
English, though. Very English for me.
Yeah. Apple pie is a very English dish, right? So you eat apple pie and you enjoy it. It's sweet. You get a nice buzz or whatever. You're loving it, right? But you'll only get to a certain level of apple pies. You'll get bored of it, whatever. But in the heaven, the apple pies, the desserts, the delights, they get better and better and better and better. Always, constantly better. So you're on this spiral. Do you get it? But the best thing that you'll get in the paradise, better than any other pleasure, better than adventures, better than, you know, excitement and happiness and cars and whatever, right? The best thing you get, Dre, is to see God. You see Allah, the Creator. You get to see Him at some point, and that is better than any pleasures, right? So you get close to God.
You know, like,
yeah.
I really like the take that you had that on seeing God. You know, like,
yes.
That's a very fundamental thing.
Good. Yeah.
Because for me, I mean, personally, like, I don't want to like contrast in any ways, you know, but this is what I see. I mean, I'm a musician. You know?
Yeah.
I
That's
have some
good.
ideas, you know.
Yeah.
Basically, the way I see things is for me, this conversation that I'm having with you right now is God. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Me seeing all these people
It
walking
is.
around,
Yeah.
maybe not this floor, maybe not
Yeah,
that, just to be more human, you know. But what I mean is, When you go out into the nature, you know.
I know.
and
You see the signs,
yourself,
isn't it?
And you feel it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say?
100%.
And I do think that.
Like, how did you walk here today? You came to me, of all the place in London, right? A Muslim man, right? It gives you a chocolate, whatever. You take Quran and this and that.
I bought a guitar as well.
And you bought a guitar as well, right? And you bought your box, and you were like, and I thought you were Muslim first, isn't it? You remember, right? So I reckon one day, this is because I've been doing this work for many years, right? And talking to you, Dre, I reckon one day, maybe, I don't know when, right? But one day you're going to become a Muslim. I think so. Because you got a good heart. You got a good heart. You know, your heart is in the right place. You know, I'm telling you that from experience. You know,
I hope you don't take any offense.
No.
Like, I'm very fluid in that sense. You know, like how can I explain this? Like, if I do have the need to pray, which is something that, to be honest with you, lately, it's something that really came back to my life.
Came back to your life. Because, it did for a lot of people. It does, because look what's going on.
That moment that
you're in need. Yeah. You get down, and you need the help, right? And God is there, and He can see everything, He can hear everything, He knows what's in your heart. You understand? But the key thing with Islam, in the Muslim religion, Islam, is that basically you just believe that there's one God. That's the belief, right? You believe in the prophets, like from Christianity, David, Jesus, Noah, all of them. The last prophet was Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and he came with the same message as all the prophets: one God to worship. Don't worship the idol, don't worship the tree or the stone. Do you understand? So if you became a Muslim, right, the things you do, some Muslims might say, oh, but music's not allowed in Islam. Don't overthink this stuff. Don't get confused. There's a small number of scholars will say that certain music is allowed. Do you understand? Some music is not allowed in the religion, but don't get scared. Don't think, oh my God, it's gonna be not for me. That's from the devil, right? But when I say certain music is not allowed, what I mean is, for example, if there's a gangster rap music and it's calling to shoot the police, kill the police, right, and do violence and killing women or whatever, the bad things, right? That kind of music is calling to evil, right? And that would be wrong to listen to and act upon, whatever, because it's enticing. Do you get it?
So
right?
My thing with religion in general, is that I do think that the separation between us and God is not as big as it is portrayed. You know what I'm trying to say? I think that, and I mean this in the sense of it's a power within yourself that you can access.
Kind of, Dre. I get you. I know what you mean. The guidance, you know what it is? See, where we've got to be careful, because in Islam, God, Allah, He's transcendent, meaning He dwells external from the universe, right? So He's not in anything. He's not in our
space or time.
No space or time. You know from philosophy. You know more than me, brother, right? So what I'm saying is, God or Allah, He's the all-powerful. We know Him from His names: the all-loving, the all-merciful, the all-kind, the all-seeing, the all-hearing, the all-wise. Yeah, and that wisdom, He knows what's going on. Do you get it? Right? And look, obviously, when a person becomes a Muslim, they get immediately many blessings in this life. Protection, like I mentioned, no drink driving death, right? No overdosing on drugs, because it's not allowed, right? The drugs, right? No getting into debt with gambling, right? You may get a massive debt, you get an addiction to gambling, you lose your house, you lose your family, you're on the streets.
I look at all these things as fundamental principles to guide your life through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I think, with all due respect, I don't think that I necessarily need, in my case, to go to church every Sunday.
Got it.
To apply that. You know what I mean? I feel like as I'm walking around, as I'm having this conversation with you, as I'm playing my guitar, I feel like those basic principles of being a good person, those laws of the universe, how I like to call it. So it englobles
I get you.
And universe is God for me. But
yeah.
And I do think that sticking to those things is actually the most important thing. And I understand the power of prayer. I know what that feeling is. And I also know what it feels like to just be by yourself. You know that life is not going how you want it to go.
I understand.
And you really have to do it by yourself. And it feels as good. You know what I'm trying to say?
They're good values. You got good values. That's what I'm saying. You got a good heart. You got good values, right? But at the end of the day, you know what it is? God is the creator. See, it's a belief system in Islam. We believe He's the creator. He created everything. He's got the plans, how we work, how we operate, how we tick, right? He knows what's good for us, what's bad for us. He knows in what measure, what time, what place, right? He knows everything. He's got the ultimate plans, right? So when He says a certain command, like He's telling us, we have to pray 5 times a day. We bow and do the prayers, right? But at the end of the day, what are we doing? We do a few movements for maybe 5 minutes, 5 times a day. It's not the whole day gone.
I know.
It's a discipline.
Have a couple
it's a dedication, But the thing is, what's He giving in return? infinite life in the paradise. Do you understand? In mathematics, Dre, it's like 0 and 1. This life is like 0 because it's a finite, yeah? You live to 100, a long age, you live to 100 and you die. It's still like 0 and 1 in mathematics because the infinity compared to the finite is like 0 and 1. So what he's giving, we can never thank him enough, never repay him because it's infinite life. You know, there's a next life. We're going to continue. This cannot be it. This life, if people think this is just it, you know, you live like an atheist belief, right? Yeah. And everyone's got their entitlement to their own beliefs. But someone believes that, you know, I be bad to people, I rob some people, I hurt some people,
you
and then
shift your way through life.
You know, you do some bad things.
But it always comes back to you. That's the thing. You can never
I believe so. I believe so because God is controlling. You know, ultimately, if it doesn't come back in this life, I guarantee in the next life, my belief, is that it will come back. You know, Hitler, he killed 6 million Jews. He exterminated and terminated people like left, right, and center. He was a pinnacle of evil, right? But for now, exactly. He's going to stand before God. And I'm not saying, because I cannot make the judgment, I'm not saying Adolf Hitler is in the hellfire. I cannot make blanket statement.
It's not up to us.
It's not up to us, right? And we don't know his last dying moments. Maybe he repented. Maybe he said, I'm going back to God. I'm going to become a Muslim, for example, right? And he's forgiven whatever, right? We don't know. It's a mystery. There's so many theories about Hitler.
Do you think that salvation, can I call it like that?
Yeah.
Do you think that salvation is reserved to a specific religion?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it's for Islam. And that's the true religion all the time. See, when you say Christianity, Jesus Christ, you get it. He never said worship me. Yeah, he never said I'm God on the earth. Bow.
Through me.
Well, through is not really. You know what it is? Look, there's a distinction here because a lot of Christians say that Jesus is God or the Son of God. And what we're saying in Islam, no, these were all men. They were all prophets. They were all sent by God, but they were not divine. They never had. They performed miracles. You get it?
Do you think that us being a creation of God, that we are?
We are. Yeah.
Us being a creation of God, doesn't that mean that we're automatically, not necessarily consciously, and not necessarily in terms of power, in terms of all-knowing and everything?
Yeah.
But don't you think that automatically makes us God?
No, it doesn't. Because you know what it is? If it made us God, right, then, well, look at it like this. If God became the creation, there'll just be more of the creation and less of the God. See, God cannot become the creation. That's what I'm trying to say, Dre. Do you understand? We've got inspiration, we've got guidance, we've got the Quran like you took. Yeah, we've got this link, right? He's there and he's guiding. Do you understand, Trey? Yeah. But however, we don't have divinity. We don't have like I can perform miracles and
that is true.
That we don't believe in. But other religions, they believe that. I understand. But in Islam, we say no. Even Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he performed miracles, many of them. But it didn't mean that he was God or it was through the power of God that he allowed. Even Jesus, you know, he made the dead come alive. Yeah, he healed the sick, the leper. Right, he could maybe walk on water or whatever the miracles. That's by the permission of God. But it doesn't mean that these people, these entities, these humans were divine, that they were God. Does that make sense, Dre? You get it?
Total sense,
See, in Islam, it's really clear.
There's a sentence that, sorry for interrupting.
Sorry.
There's a sentence that I really, really like, you know?
Yeah.
Which is the creator creates by experiencing the creation
Yes.
from every point of view.
Yeah, he's got the, you know what I mean? I kind of get it, yeah. He's got the total view.
That's where it comes from, what I mean about that possible separation. And what I mean by this is, I don't think I'm divine.
No, you never said that. You never said that, yeah.
But what I think is that if people realize that God is much closer to us than we think.
Yeah.
The world would be a much better place.
I agree. This, hence us coming out, giving the Qurans, doing the work, because we're trying to spread peace, you know, contentment, happiness, mercy, bring communities together, community cohesion. We don't want suspicion and hatred. You remember, I don't know how long you've been around UK, London, but remember the riots with the EDL? They started smashing up the place, and they burnt a police station. 3 police officers got injured. Ridiculous stuff, violence and hatred. This is what we don't want. We want the religion of peace. Christians, Muslims, atheists, Jew. Forget the labels, we live in peace because we're humans.
As long as you're connected to
the common element. That's it, right? And the common element amongst all of us, we're all humans. Do you understand? We've got feelings, we've got bodies, we're human beings, right? But at the end of the day, look, you know what it is, Dre? I'll leave it on a plate for you because I don't want to pressurize you. But to become a Muslim, Dre, a person says a sentence. In Arabic, it's called Shahada. It's one sentence in Arabic and English. You can say in Portuguese, any language. And the person becomes a Muslim at that point. It's that easy. Do you understand? There's no big ritual. There's no you have to do this or this. No baptism, nothing. It's like you said the Shahada, the testimony, and you will become a Muslim. Right? It's that easy because God made it easy. Because the religion, you know, Allah, He's not a cruel God.
He's not a nasty God. He doesn't like sending lightning bolts, earthquakes, this and that. He doesn't do that to be cruel and to be cruel and to be horrible, right? What he actually wants, what do you think he wants, Dre? He wants the mankind to go to the paradise. That's how he's made this creation. He wants you to live forever. He wants you to rejoice with adventures, happiness. There's nice pleasures there. People like certain things. Delicacies of food, company, it's all going to be there, and there'll be no paying for the bill. Here you go to the restaurant, you got to pay the bill at the end.
You pay.
And you pay big time. I think my friend gave me this book, right, Saladin. So the book you've got, Brother Dre, in the book is the Quran, yeah, in translation. It says that same thing I told you. The statement is there. When someone becomes a Muslim, he just declares this statement. You can say in secret, in open, you can tell the whole world, you can keep it secret, you can do it privately. It's all in your choice, right? And there's the Arabic is in transliteration. It's like, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That's the statement. And that is it in English, the translation. I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except God. Do you understand? No other idols, no gods. That tree's not going to save me. I bow to that tree, it's never going to save me. It can't bring rain, it can't even protect itself. Because when the termites come and the insects and they eat the tree, or the animal smashes the tree with his horns, or the woodpecker, right? The tree can't defend itself. So how can the tree be God, right? So basically the statement is there, the translation. So that you keep that in your mind, that it's in the book, inshallah, yeah. But Dre, ask any questions, brother, ask. Yeah, you ask some brilliant questions. I love your questions. I love the question. I can tell you studied philosophy and you got an open mind. You read the Bible, yeah.
I was like 8 years old.
No way, subhanallah.
I'm really
that's phenomenal. Yeah, I can tell. That's good, brother. And be on that journey. Be safe, because look, end of the day, the world is going upside down. I don't want to be pessimistic, but there's a lot of problems. There's there's wars and killing and hatred, and we hate all this stuff, right? We want peace. Nobody likes war. War is a horrible thing. Yeah, you see Gaza and these places. We want goodness. We want people to be happy, prosperity. Like no one should be homeless. Do you get it? No, why are these people homeless in London? You look around, you say, oh my God, this is a first world country. It's like their priorities seem to be jumbled up. Certain countries, they do spending of money, and it's really bad on the people. Saladin, Dre.
You can call me Sal. I just have a question for you.
I'll let you take this.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll give you that.
No, just wait here.
Oh yeah, sure.
You've been speaking to Brother Murtada. So the question to you was...
And I've been speaking a lot, so I apologize.
No, it's fine. So how was
I like hearing you.
No, that's good. I like hearing you. I like hearing you, brother. Yeah, definitely.
That's nice. That's good. It's good.
Yeah, he's really good.
How was he?
Yeah, good guy.
Give us some feedback on Murtada, what he was telling you. What did you like? What did you like?
No, not liking something would be a bit dumb of me to say, but I do think that I really like the fact that you're open to the fact that I'm not necessarily bound by any sort of religion, and I think that should be the whole point, that is the whole point, which is
everyone can choose their own religion.
Let's talk about it, let's talk about it. I feel,
discuss it,
discuss it. Thank you so much, for giving me one of these,
honestly.
Really, thank you, and I do think that what you guys are doing here is it's very special, because if there would be more people in the world, whichever religion it is, I don't care about that, but if there would be more people in the world that will sit down and have a conversation with each other and say, look, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm not saying I'm right. This is what I believe, this is what you believe. But let's talk.
Let's try to understand
it. Let's see where we can go with this, because 100%. At the end of the day, all this separation, it's like politics, all this separation ends up just leading people into a more
it is politics and power and
divisions
and selfishness,
and that's what they want.
Somewhere out
the ones that we don't see,
somewhere out there, some elements, of darkness,
really enjoyed.
It's not what God wants. So that's it, Dre. I said to Dre, Saladin, I was saying, from my estimation of doing this work for many years, I feel that one day, because Dre seems to have a good heart, a good mindset, a good, spirituality. He's very spiritual, right? A good soul. And what happens with those sort of people, they don't go in the quagmire. The quagmire means the pit of evil. So you can get involved in so many bad things in this world. Drug addiction, womenizing, all horrible things, right? That lead to depression and a poor life, yeah? I think and one day, inshallah, we pray for you. That's my main point. I think you'll become a Muslim one day, because it's the most richest life in terms of happiness. You get the peace, you get the contentment, you get the guidance. Because at the end of the day, Dre, you have him, you have the Creator.
Guidance is the main point, because as someone that how can I explain this? I don't necessarily think that happiness is the point of life. You know
No,
what I mean?
it isn't. It isn't. I don't
think
agree with that. Yeah.
I don't think that fills me up like that. You know, like I feel like the purpose of happiness in general is for you. It's almost like a reward system. You know, like if you are well within yourself, if you're a good person all around and everything.
You know what it is, Dre? What you said, you hit the nail on the head. You know, I've been studying some Islamic stuff, and the scholar said the same thing. You're not talking like a scholar, right? He said basically, it's not about happiness in this life. It's about contentment. You know, peace in the heart, tranquility. So you feel content. You know, because money and worldly stuff is going to bring so much joy. You know, when you've got 20 mansions, right? The 21st mansion. Is it really going to make that much joy? Are you going to be like dancing around? You're dancing in one mansion, you know, 21st mansion, right? It's not going to do much, you know?
So, yeah, I know, mashallah, this guy can talk, yeah? And you were politely listening, but you said that you liked what he was saying.
Yes.
So, we've got this campaign, Discover the Quran, obviously, we've got this branding, and we're out. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this campaign?
Yeah.
So, what you do is, have you heard of the Shahada?
I have to learn more about it. I don't know nothing much.
Okay.
I know you have to pray 5 times a day and nothing more about it.
Okay, good. So, you say the statement. Are you okay to be filmed?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So, you say the statement in Arabic and in English, yes?
No,
Brother.
Not now.
Not now?
Not now. I have to be 100% ready.
You change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You don't
Because
have.
I'm homeless now.
But
I'm not ready for that yet. When I'm gonna be ready, I will find you.
But the
I
thing.
read about more and learn. And I'm gonna come one day.
You don't have to be in the perfect position. Do you believe in one God?
Yes.
Do you believe Muhammad is the messenger of God?
Yes. So that I have to.
Oh, you have to look. Okay, then learn. Take your time. Learn. Do you know where the building is? Empire Building.
Yeah.
The Empire Casino. We're opposite the casino. We're there almost every day.
Yeah, I seen you there.
Yes. So show them this. And what's your name?
Armand.
Huh?
Armand.
Here, take this, please. Come.
Oh, so you're actually from Portugal?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I've been to Faro.
Yeah, really nice place.
Really nice place, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, really. I'm from the north.
You're from
Porto.
the.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. Porto, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a beautiful country, and you know the name. I don't know if Murtada told you this, but the name Portugal. You know where it comes from?
No, not actually.
You don't know.
I mean.
So the name.
I might have an answer, but it's probably not the same one.
So this is what we think, and this is what we believe, that, you know, there's a big history of Islam that was in Spain and Portugal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I was talking like from the other perspective.
You said it from the other perspective. So there was no Portugal before, right? It was just all one country.
Yeah.
So the word Portugal is actually an Arabic word.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know that?
What do you mean?
It's a portocalun. Portocal means oranges.
Oranges, yeah, exactly. I knew that. In Romanian as well. I don't know if you know that.
So the name actually comes from that region where oranges, you know, there's so many oranges and oranges. So the Arabs called it Portugal, right? And then the people adopted it. So Islam was in Spain for over 500 years, you know. It was fully established. And, you know, even if you go to the south of Spain and Portugal,
South of Portugal has a lot of Arabic influence in architecture and everything.
because they came from North Africa, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And even when they say like Europe was in the Dark Ages, right? Andalusia was seen as the light, right, for restaurants and developments and studying and books. So people would come there, right? And they saw like a future of a city for the rest of the world, right? And so again, it was a guiding light. But what was the foundation of it? It was Islam. And same with Portugal. Portugal,
yeah, I believe,
oranges.
you know, like
the Arabs are there. Yeah, look into it. Look into it.
For sure. I just have one last question. You know,
Yes,
like,
yes, please.
If you guys don't mind, I'm sorry if I'm taking your time.
No. That's what we're here for.
I mean, like, I this is more or less of a thought experiment. You know, like this is something that I like thinking about. You know?
Nice.
You know, you fell asleep when you wake up.
Yes.
Right? Like you wake up and you're like, fell asleep, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
good night, good nap, wherever it is, you know?
Yeah.
My question for you is, you know that because the voice in your head recognizes that, right? So the question is, when you die, do you really die? You know what I'm trying to get with this? Which is, if the voice in my head does not recognize it, doesn't that mean that I'm like infinite by itself?
You know what's interesting of what you
know
just
what I mean?
mentioned?
Like, there's no right or wrong
what
answer.
you're saying.
I don't know the answer, you know, but I would like to hear what you guys have to say.
100%. We have that feeling. And you know what's interesting about that? In our tradition, it actually talks about what you just mentioned. That when you go to sleep, it's actually a form of a temporary death.
Fair enough.
So that's mentioned in our tradition. So it's almost like a death in it, like a temporary death. But obviously, when you wake up, you're back. Yeah. So you didn't actually die.
It's a distancing from the physical world. Yeah.
So we're in Islam, the same thing, that the death that happens is just the physical death.
Yeah.
So we continue. There is no death, like you're like, you know, the end of everything.
Yeah.
So when you die, what happens according to Islam is that the soul leaves the body, right? But you still exist. You're still conscious, right? So you're in a different realm. So you don't actually like not exist.
Yeah.
It's the same way when you go to sleep and when you dream, you're conscious, right? It's almost like a temporary death.
Yeah.
And all of these are signs of what's to come. Because a lot of people, everything is a sign.
Taking
you
that
see?
into account, the signs of what is to come and everything.
Yes.
How would you relate that with dreams? You know what I'm trying to say? Because
It's all similar, with the dream, right? So we believe in the soul in the body. Yeah?
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah. So that soul, it actually comes out through the nostrils. When you sleep, it comes out. It goes up, invisible, of course, right? So it comes out, and when you see someone in a dream, like your friend or your mother or someone, the souls are intermingling.
Yeah.
They intermingle. They mix with each other. So sometimes you see somebody that is like passed away. They're dead. So their soul's gone to the next world, and it intermingles your soul. So this dreaming and souls and death is kind of similar. Well, it's got similarities, right? So in Islam, they say that sleep is lesser death. It's lesser death. It's like the mini death. It's like a death before the real death, right? But the point you made, Dre, the death when it comes, that is a ceiling point, right? That's the cutoff, Because it doesn't mean just because you're thinking about dying and dreaming and this and that and sleeping, that the infinite exists in this world. It can't exist. See, the infinite, as you know from philosophy, philosophy better than me, it cannot exist in the real world.
But I don't. That's not even my point. I don't think that we're infinite here.
Got it. Because you
I
can't
think our
get
soul
infinite.
is infinite.
Yeah,
you
the
know
soul
what I'm
is
trying to say?
100%. That's what Islam says. See, there's like, I don't know all the stages. There's like 4 stages of life. There's the before you conceived, before your parents conceived, right? And then there's the in the womb. That's one existence. It's darkness, right? So you're alive. You're a baby. You cannot see light or strong light. Yeah. Then you're in the third stage, which is this life. I think there's 4 or 5. Then there's a place in the grave. The grave. You're actually in the grave, right?
Yeah.
And the soul, the body experiences some things in the grave, right? And then there's the afterlife. The paradise. But there's a hellfire as well in Islam. There is a hellfire. For the people that knew that Islam was true, they knew God was to be worshipped, but they were arrogant. They're like, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to reject it. I'm better than God, or I am God, or I'm the infinite, or whatever this godly nonsense, right? Yeah. They have that strong sort of rejection of arrogance. They may be susceptible to the punishment of the hellfire, but that will be infinite. That will be forever.
So look,
yeah.
Basically what you said is very similar to what you said and what you believe, that in this physical realm, that you will cease to exist when you die. There's no coming back, but your soul will continue to exist, right? And that basically we believe that this life is a test. We're here to be tested, right? And everything here is either a sign for you or against you, And look, you yourself, you're a creation of God. You didn't decide the color of your skin, your eyes, right? Even your gender. None of us did. We didn't even decide to come into this period of time. Not some ancient civilization. That was all preordained, right? So all you are really in control of is this life, that you take upon these sides, do some research, reading, because there isn't ultimate truth to everyone, right? And that's what we're on. We're on a journey. Yeah.
Of course.
So, this has been a really good conversation. Yeah, it's really lovely talking to you. And yeah, like I said, There's a lot of history of Islam in Portugal, you know. That's unfortunately it's been wiped out of sort of, you know, the memories of sort of so many people they don't know. Even if you look at a lot of the names in Portugal that have Arabic roots. So the point is, like, this message has spread, you know, across the world, and there's even a lot of borrowed language as well, you know, in Portuguese and Spain, with Arabic as well.
Yeah, that's very true. We have a lot of, you know, like we say in Portugal, you know, like from a certain point, you know, I'm from the north, so like we're a bit proud.
Yeah.
From the north, you know, and once you get past a certain point, you only like all the towns, all the cities start with "al."
There you go.
And it's funny, like for us, it's always been funny, you know, because it's such a clear separation. You know? It's a very cool thing. Now, but guys, I really appreciate it.
No, it's lovely talking to you.
Genuinely, you know, like, yeah. And one thing, like, what are the conditions? Like, if I were to go to a mosque,
yes,
am I allowed to?
Of course, the mosque is open to everyone. It's like a community place, right? It should be. It's obviously a place of worship where Muslims come to worship, right? But have you ever been to a mosque?
No, not really. No,
You've never been to a mosque, you know? If we take your contact details, maybe we can arrange to take you to one, you know? We'd love to do that.
For sure,
you know?
For sure. I mean, I'm quite busy with my music, but I don't mind if you guys like just write it down.
Yeah, if you get the details.
I cannot guarantee anything, you know, I'll be very honest.
No, whenever.
At some point.
But if you do happen to stumble upon a mosque, basically understand that a mosque is open to anyone. Just go in and just tell them, you know, like, I'm a non-Muslim, I just wanted to have a look around, right? And they'll facilitate. So the main things to know is usually when you go into the prayer hall, they take off their shoes, right? As a sign of respect, you don't take in dirt. Also, you will notice that there's also a place of purification. You know, we purify ourselves before we stand in front of God. But also you will notice, and you'll see this in mosque tours, is the key difference you will notice between a mosque and a church is that when you go into the prayer room, it's plain. Completely plain. There's no images, there's no idols, there's nothing. Right? All it is there's a direction in which we pray towards Mecca, the Kaaba.
It's quite similar, like to the church that I was raised in. You know, like I was raised as a Protestant. You know, like the gospel Protestant. You know.
Yes.
And like, I mean, if you walk in, I grew up in those churches, and just walk in and there's literally nothing on the walls. You know, maybe a biblical verse or something like that. You know, like, but nothing really. So I really relate to that somehow. You know, because I do think that humanity got to be lost at some point.
Yes.
At some point.
Email, brother.
Yeah, my email.
Address. We can email you about the visit.
I'll write it.
You're right. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Somebody's the expert video guy. He knows everything about it. Joseph.
I'm João André, you know, so I just call myself.
Just check the letters.
Yeah,
these are all like lowercase letters. J-O-A-O.
No, don't say it on the camera, you're saying it like that.
Sorry.
Let me try to... Have you got your phone started? No, your phone's dead, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to... Because this pen is a bit useless. I think I've got another pen.
He's going to check, yeah. Anyway, so the point is that's really interesting when you mention that, is that, you know, when you go into the mosque, a lot of people that are non-Muslims, that's the first thing they notice. And another thing that they notice when you go to the mosque is people feel a sense of serenity.
Yeah.
Because people are focusing on worship, you know, on worshipping God. And so people are either reading the Quran, or they're doing words of remembrance, or they're making supplications. And so you automatically feel... So a lot of people that are non-Muslims, they will just come to the mosque just to sit there.
Yeah.
To get a sense of peace, you know. But that's the main thing. The main thing, it's plain. It's a place of worship. You know, Muslims pray 5 times a day. But... Yes.
That's a much better pen, yeah? This pen was like...
If you don't understand anything about my legends, you know,
we'll try our best.
So there's like Regent's Park Mosque, Baker Street. You know Baker Street?
Yeah.
So if you come out of Baker Street Station, and if you go towards the park, Regent's Park, right next to the park, if you just go a little bit further, you will see the mosque. It's a big open sort of area you go into, and then it enters into the mosque. Anyone is welcome at any time, right? So just walk in, have a look around. If you have any questions, ask people.
For sure. Just
You
a
know?
quick question. You know, like I'm loving this conversation. By the way, like this is amazing. You know, I mean, I hope you don't take this wrong as well. You know, but the same way that I was raised a certain way. You know, like and I was raised in a certain context. Let's put it that way. You know, and my life took me to a specific place in which the connection to the source is a church. Fair enough.
No problem.
Do you think? And I might know your answer, you know, but do you think that, and I mean this like, put yourself like...
Just be honest, just be honest,
what I mean?
honest.
Like, do you think that the connection to the source differs from each religion's like sacred place? Do you think that if you were to go to a church right now, you would feel peace?
It's a very good question. I wasn't born as a Muslim.
Fair enough.
I was born as a Hindu.
Fair enough. That's very interesting.
So I was born in London. I wasn't born as a Muslim.
What's your ethnic background?
So India. My parents are from India, right? My mum's from Uganda. So just like you go, your starting point because of your family tradition was a church. Mine was a temple.
Yep.
Right? So I don't know if you've ever been to a Hindu temple.
Not really. I mean, it's a bit far away from me. No, but
it's very different. Yeah. Big idols, right? And then we would worship these idols. Hindus worship these idols. So that's what I would do, right? So you have all of these different idols, Krishna. So when you go there, yeah, of course, because look, when you're a kid, you follow your tradition, you follow your parents because you see them as an authority. Yeah. So you don't question it, right? And so people, yeah?
You would be surprised.
As you get older, you get question it. But like, you know, initially you don't question it because whatever they tell you to be true, you take it, right? Yeah, so you go to I used to go to the temple, we used to worship Diwali, you know, and we used to worship these idols. And yes, you think that you're doing something spiritual. You think you are connecting to the creator, right? And you do all of your acts of worship. Because if you didn't think that, then you wouldn't do it, okay? So you've got all of these people around the world and they're worshipping, you know, all of these different ideas of God. The thing is, though, they can't all be true at the same time. They have good teachings, okay? I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example why.
I want to hear that.
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
They have good teachings, good family values, morals, ethics, all of these things you'll find in most of these religions. The differentiating factor is who are they worshipping. Yeah. Now, why that cannot be true at the same time is simple. I think he gave you an example of this, but it's like this. If I were to give you a gift, yeah, we became really good friends, and, you know, I just happen to be wealthy, let's say, and I give you a gift of 10 million pounds. What do you do with 10 million pounds?
A lot of things, I'll be honest.
Give me some examples. Give me some examples.
Two of them, you know. No, I don't know, I'll probably like feed someone off of the street, you know, because I have 10 million, it's so much, you know. And I'll probably help out my mom, you know, get her a house, help out my dad with his stuff, you know. And
come on, man, you buy a car, you buy a house, you go on holiday, you do all of these things, yeah. Of course, right, but the point is, like, when someone gives you a gift, what do you do?
Yeah, you enjoy it, you
enjoy it, but at the point of them giving you a gift, what do you say?
You thank them.
Thank them, right? So imagine I gave you that 10 million pounds, right, and you're thinking about enjoying it, but instead of thanking me, you thank this guy here, Sabor, who's got nothing to do with me giving you.
I fully see your point.
Do you see? Is that just?
I fully see your point, you know. I just think that.
So the point is, look, let me just finish. So the point is that people are worshipping Krishna, Vishnu, Jesus, right? The Holy Spirit. All of these, they've got nothing to do with you giving you the gift.
Yeah.
Your eyes, your ears, you know, your ability to think, you being here in London, right, to eat food. There's only one source for that. So why are you misdirecting your thanks to things that have nothing to do with the gifts that are being given to you?
Culture.
Yes.
That's the thing.
You see?
I mean? That's my point with it, you know, which is, yeah, I mean, like, and it goes back a bit to that feeling of peace, you know, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not in a church right now, I'm not in a mosque, and I feel peace just by speaking to you guys, you know, and I think that's the thing that we should hold on to the most, you know. I respect the fact that you guys go to mosque, you know, that some people go to church, whatever it is. I do think that.
But Dre, my question was going to be.
Wait, let me finish. Carry on.
I do think that, you know, like, depending on the place of the world that you're born in and everything, like, like your example, for example, you know, like, I think that the restriction to the source and to faith should not be made by religion but by behavior. You know what I'm trying to say? I think that the problem is not me going to a church. The problem is me going to a church and being a bad person. The same thing with the mosques. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, with all due
100%.
respect, you know
At the end of the day, you know, it's no point worshipping God and doing these things if it doesn't affect you in a positive way.
Exactly.
Right?
And like, there's various interpretations of God. Obviously, like, you're gonna tell me yours is right. You know, like,
Of
I'm
course.
not gonna say anything is right because I don't know,
Every person who follows a particular religion, they'll follow that religion
100%.
because they
It's what
believe
you
it to be
believe.
true, right?
Of course.
Otherwise, you wouldn't follow it. But the key question here is, like I said, objectively, they can't all be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah. So then you would say, imagine that you never came from India.
Yes.
Imagine that you were born in India.
Yeah.
You stayed there your whole life.
Yes.
And you were
Yes.
going to the temple your whole
Yes.
life. Do you think God would close his eyes on you?
Good. So that's a good question. So this is where we believe, and Islam teaches that God is just. If the message didn't reach you, right, of the truth, then you're not going to be judged for it in this world.
Yeah.
God will give you a separate test.
Yeah.
Right? So for example, you live as a Christian in a Christian community for your whole life, and that's all you know, and all you interact with are other Christians who are professing the same thing. You never come across the message of Islam and you die. God will not judge you on that, because until the message comes to you,
If I am a bad person.
even if you're a bad person, right? Because God is just. At the end of the day, He will hold you to the standard of what Islam teaches, right? Of course, if you do killing and all of these things, you are called into account for these things, because instinctively we know certain things are wrong, okay? That's natural, yeah? But at the end of the day, when we're talking about worshipping and all of these things, it comes from God. So the thing is, it's not about, you know, because on the day of judgment, God will question you. And once you're an adult, you're responsible for your own actions. So you won't be able to say, oh, my priest said this, you know, my guru said this, my mum said this, my dad said this. You have been given a mind. You've got the ability to walk around, to go on your journey, to think. You have to make that decision. And at the end of the day, even if our forefathers followed a particular religion, right, they can be wrong. Why can they be wrong? Because they're human beings, right? Human beings are flawed. That's why we say guidance comes from God. There's an objective reality that applies to us all, right? We have to determine what that reality is, right? And we're saying that God shows so many signs that it's up to you to go and discover for yourself. So like you said, you're going to take this copy of the Quran, you're going to read, and you're going to judge. And ultimately, guidance comes from God. So God will, if you are looking for truth and you are sincere in your heart, God will guide you. And this is part of your journey today, being here.
I'm certain of that.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a quick question, brother. Like you said about the mosque, like, can you go in the mosque? Is it okay or whatever, yeah? Why did you ask that question about the mosque? Like,
No, I asked that question, you know, like, mainly to make that point about you going to churches.
Yeah,
you know
I'll get you a comparison, yeah.
I mean, like, I would definitely, like, be curious to go to one. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, but, but I think that, how can I say this? I think that I don't necessarily, I can try it, definitely, but I don't think it will be much different than, for example, this conversation. I don't think.
You know, you'll be shocked. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because we have this saying, isn't it? Obviously, don't mock it until you tried it, yeah? So you can have certain perceptions, but until you actually try it, you won't know. Yeah. So go and try it. And in fact, a lot of people, especially people who were born Muslims, they'll go to a mosque, right? And then the Muslims will get up for their prayer. And they'll say, look, can we try it? And we're like, yeah, come and join us. And a lot of the time, we get this feedback. Oh, wow, I've never experienced anything like that before. Even though I'm from a Christian background, I've been to the church. I remember like showing some non-Muslims how we purify ourselves with water, right? There's a process we follow, very simple, right? Just so that we're in a state of purity. Some non-Muslims did that, and they said to me, and these are normal Western guys, they shower every day. They say, I've never felt pure in my life. Why? Because you're connecting with the truth, the source. So that's what I'm saying is, Go and experience it, and I'm sure you'll be surprised that it'll be different from anything else you've experienced in your life.
Probably, you know, like I'm curious. Don't get me wrong, you know. I just I'm gonna explain this. Like I find it very interesting the way you put things, you know, like the whole purifying aspect and everything. Why? Because I mean, I saw my mom getting baptized in a Protestant church, you know. Because in a Protestant church, you don't get baptized as soon as you're born.
Right.
Like, it's a choice.
Okay, got it.
And I remember seeing that as a kid, you know, like it was a complicated phase of my life in general. That's when I started going to church and everything. My grandma, you know, she used to take me, you know.
Nice.
An angel, absolutely.
Yes.
What I'm trying to get with this is, I was a kid and I remember seeing, you know, and I remember like the pastor, not the priest, the pastor like was with my mom like in the tank, you know, like and everything. She was saying some words about like how she found God and like and how she accepted God into her heart and everything. Which is a beautiful thing to say, you know, like it's I wish more people would say that about it, you know? And my point is, I think she experienced exactly that piece as well that you're talking about. You know what I mean? So, and that is to say in general, you know, like I really like the way you guys explain things.
No
and
problem.
You know? But what I'm trying to say is that when you're lost, and man, life sometimes gets a bit tough, you know? It does. But when you're lost,
wait,
you
let me finish.
purify yourself like
Yes.
that. Do you think the difference of the peace that my mom felt there, will be different from the peace that she would feel in a mosque?
Obviously, only she can answer that question. Yeah, obviously.
But what would you think of that? You know,
No, obviously, because at the end of the day, look, even with that, where does that come from? Baptism.
In what sense?
Where's the history of it?
John Baptist, no?
John the Baptist, right? And Jesus, right? He used to wash the feet, according to the Christians, of the disciples. What we say about that, because John the Baptist is actually mentioned in the Quran.
Yeah.
In our tradition.
I believe it.
Yeah, because his name's Yahya, yeah? John the Baptist. So what we're saying is John the Baptist, yeah, Yahya, alayhi salam, Jesus, he's also mentioned in the Quran 25 times. There's a chapter 19, it's called Mary, right? Dedicated. Is mentioned in the Quran. We believe that they were performing purification.
Yeah.
Right? Wudu, what we call in the Arabic, right? So there's ghusl and wudu. So there's a form of purification where you can just cover yourself with water completely and you're purified.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is those original teachings that these pious people perform have been skewed over time and made into this ritualistic thing, which wasn't the original intended meaning, because things can change over time. So when it comes back to so when it comes to purification, when she's having that baptism, I'm sure she feels that she's physically and spiritually being cleansed, right, in herself. But what we believe is Islam came, you know, after Christianity to correct those mistakes that had been changed. Just like Jesus in the Christian teachings, you know, when he came and kicked the money being exchanged in the church, because he said you're deviating the original teachings. So he came to the rabbis and said, you have taken the original message that was given to you in the 10 Commandments, and you've corrupted it.
Yeah.
So he came to correct them. So we're saying that the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, he came again as the last and final messengers to correct what the later Christians changed the teachings of Jesus.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. I fully understand what you're saying, you know, and I mean, it's beautiful what you just said right there, you know, like, I mean, even though I'm not a Muslim, it touches me in somehow, you know, like, obviously.
So we love Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
We love Jesus.
I'm aware of that.
Yes.
You know, like, the point that I'm trying to make is, if God was to come, obviously that's not the point, but if God was to come down and be present in the moment that my mom got baptized, would he be happy?
No, that's obviously something that, like, what did I say before? You can only be judged upon the knowledge that you hold, yeah?
Of course.
So if that's the only knowledge she had, then she's not gonna, there's no sin upon her for that,
Yeah.
right? So she'll be, again, on the day of judgment, you know, if that's all she knows, then she'll be tested. But once the message comes to you, right? Because the message, God says, I'm not the God of confusion, right? You'll be able to see very clearly what is wrong and what is right if it's explained to you, right? So if you do that and the message comes to you, then after that, if you reject it, and a lot of people have rejected it, and you know what are the main reasons they reject it? Is because they say, our forefathers, well, they used to follow this religion, so it's my duty to continue that tradition. And because of that statement, after the message, truth came to them, that was not accepted. Because if the truth comes to you and you reject it, then you're a stupid person, right? Because you can't use the excuse of, oh, this is my culture, and this is what my culture do. Because there's every human being is the same internally. Whether you're Chinese, you're European, you're African, we're all the same. We're all human beings. This doesn't matter, the color. You understand? That's just like you said, culture. What matters is that truth applies. Gravity applies to us all. Whether we're Chinese, you know, African, European, right? The same way, there's an ultimate truth that applies to us all. We can't say, well, I was born in... Yeah, you see?
I see you fully.
So it's up to you. So what I would suggest you to do, Dre, is basically, you know, go to a mosque if you can, read the copy of the Quran. Did you get one, yeah?
It's in my bag already.
It's in your bag, yeah? Have a read of it. But ultimately, look, we're only here to convey the message. It's only God that can guide. When you go home, raise your hands before you go to bed and just say, God, please show me the truth. And God will guide you. Simple as that.
Yeah, you know, like, that even gave me goosebumps, I'll be honest.
Did it?
You know, like, I mean, in my own way, of course, you know, like, I'm nothing. I'm 23, you know, like, I'm a kid, you know, like, at the end of the day, I'm a kid, you know. But
you're blessed, man.
But I genuinely, you know, like, I've been very selfish for a long time, you know, mainly because I cannot blame it on them, but I was raised in a specific way, you know, and some things happen, and, you know, like, and sometimes, like,
it's normal. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's myself against everyone, which obviously it's not the way to do things, you know, and I've realized that. And I've realized that the anger that I carry with me, like, and which also, to be honest with you, was something that ended up being positive, because it made me thrive as well. I mean, I play shows all over London, like, the whole year, you know, like, and there's a reason for that, you know what I mean? It's because at some point I locked myself in my room, and I needed to express myself somehow, you know? And I think that what I'm trying to get with this is there are no real enemies in life, you know, like, it's you against yourself, always, in my opinion, you know? And this is not in any way selfish, that's not what the connotation.
I agree with you.
It's, if I commit myself to something, if I commit my word to something, I better do it. You know what I'm trying to say? Why? And this is how I see it, well, you know, like, with all due respect, you know, I see God as like the highest version of yourself. This is the highest. This is like the objective, you know? And when I pray, and man, I've been through some dark times, you know, and like, and when I pray, man, I'm telling you, it's different. It's very different than facing it by myself, you know? And I'm saying this not in a way that, like, then suddenly I open my eyes and everything's fine. No. But at least the highest form of love touched me somehow. You know what I'm trying to say? And that, I mean, you might be right, I might be wrong. Who knows? You know, like, that's not.
Well, that's the beauty of the test, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, like, I look around and look at this, man. I'm in central London. I'm speaking to you guys. You know, like, life is beautiful, but life is also painful. You know, and like, I think that there's more beauty to that.
Of course.
And that goes back to my point of, like, the whole happiness thing. You know what I'm trying
to say?
Like,
one of the things is, like, you know, when you're tested in life, the immediate reaction is to be depressed and upset. Why did this happen to me? Yeah. Why has this become an issue for me? And you look at it in a negative way. But the funny thing is when you look at the most inspiring people in the world, right? And their stories, what is their story? The story is the underdog, person that the world dismissed, didn't give a chance to. He worked hard. Like you said, that anger drove them. They overcame these challenges, right? And then they became the great people that they became. Like examples like Nelson Mandela they use. Yeah, he was in prison. He thought so. The point is that all of this development is part of God's plan of testing you. Because the more you're tested, the more you develop patience, overcome those discipline, you become greater, right? And so if you look at the best stories, even the sporting stories, right? You see a lot of sporting stories where the team was the underdog, right? They had no chance. Everyone gave up. But somehow they came together, overcame, and then they became champions. And they're inspiring stories for us, right? We say that the prophets of God, right? And these are mentioned in the Bible. Moses, Abraham, Noah, right? Jesus, Prophet Muhammad. These people were tested the most. And because of their tests, they were developed, right? And now they are the giants and the prophets we look up to. But what was it? It was for the greater good. It was for the sake of God. When they had that as a foundation, it made them the great people that they were. So you're right.
Even if you don't see it for a while, God works in mysterious ways, of course, that is...
Example I use for that? A kid's book. I don't know what you call it in Portuguese, but like in here you have like something called dot to dot. So it's a kid's coloring book. So when you go and look at it, they're just dots like this.
And you connect them, right?
You connect them, right?
Colors and everything.
So you join the numbers, right? 1, 2, 3. So when you look at the dots, it just looks all random. When you join the dots, it actually makes a shape, right? And then you color it, and then you're like, oh, that looks, it makes sense now.
Great analogy.
So when you look at your life, certain things happen at the time, and it's just like a dot, right? But when you look back, you look at all the dots. And then you're like, what? If that didn't happen, that wouldn't have happened. If that didn't happen, and we say that is like, the plan of God for you to develop you. You see? And that's what we say. God has a plan for everyone.
How does that leave free will, though?
Free will, yeah, of course. Again, everyone...
How do you merge those two concepts? The planning,
okay, it's good.
And free will.
So that's very good. It's a very good question. There's a lot of people ask this question. So the first thing to understand in terms of the foundation is basically to understand that, number one, as human beings, we have limited abilities. And I'll give you a very simple example. Do you have any pets?
No, I don't actually.
So I have like cats, right? So when I open my laptop to send an email and my cat's sitting next to me, can the cat understand what I'm doing? No, right? Because it doesn't have the ability, the function to understand, comprehend what I'm doing, because we have more of an intelligence that's been given to human beings, right?
Well, one could argue, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. But we're able to have conversations, we're able to build the world, we're running the world, right? The point is that God, when we talk about the intelligence of God, is incomparable to a human being. We're limited in what we can know and understand. So that's the first thing, just to be, to have that humility that we're limited. So then when it comes to something like, free will with, predestination or destiny, how does that work? So number one, we understand that humans have been given free will, right? You can choose to go left, you can go to right. You can test that, right? So you have the ability to have free will. But also we understand that everything is preordained, that there is a destiny, right? And these two things merge perfectly because it comes from God. We may not have the ability to understand it, but we can definitely see the manifestation of it. Because certain things that happen, we're like, how on earth did that happen? I didn't plan that to happen, but it's happened. But I had a choice. I did make that choice to do that. You see? So these two things reconcile perfectly because it comes from God, a higher source. So that's what we understand is I may not be able to comprehend and understand it fully, but I do understand that God does, right? And it's basically God knows everything that we're going to do, basically. It's a bit like this. Look, I'll give you one example that might help you understand this. Teacher is teaching a bunch of students, right, throughout the year. And by the end of the year, those students need to take a test. The teacher can sort of predict the grades that the students are going to get, right? Even though they haven't taken the test, yeah? They can sort of predict. So I'm not saying it's a prediction, but it's in a very similar vein that because the teacher understands better, that she knows, yeah, the path, yeah? God obviously is ultimately in charge. He's all knowing, all powerful.
You choose to study or not.
Yeah. You see,
like, the way I see things is, let's imagine the humanities right here, like
yes,
inside this box, and God is obviously, in my opinion, he's also inside, but that's a whole different conversation. And God is obviously transcendent,
yes,
outside of space and time, all of that. Point being, like, free will exists inside these box.
Yeah.
And I think we agree on this point, which is God who is outside.
Thank you, I have it already.
Thank you, no problem.
God who is like outside and everything, like space and time do not touch him. So everything that is going on right here, he's seeing like the beginning and the end at the same time.
Yeah.
The middle at the same time.
That's it. God is all knowing, all powerful.
Yeah,
you see?
Exactly. Yeah,
so that's a good analogy like that. I've heard someone explain it like that as well. That, like one of my teachers, Hamza, may Allah bless him, he explained it like this. A TV today is made up of pixels, right? And there's so many pixels. So when it comes to sort of knowledge of God, knowledge, we have the pixel, right? But God has the entirety of the whole picture.
Yeah,
you see?
For sure. That is a very good way of putting it. Yeah, I see.
So we're limited. But yeah, look, it's lovely talking to you. Have a read of the Quran.
Yeah, I will.
And if you have any questions, we're here every week, right? If you want to continue.
Every week
on a Wednesday. No, it'll be either Wednesday or Thursday. Most likely on a Wednesday, yeah. Because we didn't come yesterday because of the rain. So we're going to have a... what do you call it? A gazebo.
Marquee,
a gazebo marquee, so we can cover ourselves because London, it rains a lot, so you're gonna need to have protection. But yeah, it was lovely talking to you.
Sorry.
May God bless you.
Can you repeat your name again?
Salahuddin. Or you can call me Sal.
Sal.
It's easy. Nice to meet you, Dre.
Good to meet you.
Thank you so much thank you so much for this conversation.
Take care, Dre.
Yes. Have a lovely day.
See me performing there?
No worries. Take care. So, Brother Murtada, alhamdulillah, we had a great conversation, obviously a long conversation.
Long. It must
They
have
saw
been
it.
half an hour or something.
I think it was more than half an hour.
More than half an hour, yeah.
So, alhamdulillah, obviously they saw the conversation. So may Allah guide him, again, and that's the thing. So we're going to wrap up now, Murtada. So any last final words before we wrap up? How's it been today? And what's your message to the guys before we end?
The guys is obviously, look, it just takes a concerted effort for everyone that comes out here. So we need the support, we need the du'as, we need the donations, we need all the moral support in the background, that's helping keep the engine running, right? We're just a group of guys on the floor here, on the ground, and we're giving out Qurans, we're giving out the postcards. It's all the Dawah work. We're all part of the same network, if that makes sense. The Dawah network. You guys, us guys, background, front, it's all part of the Dawah life
For me?
cycle.
Oh, Jazak Allah Khair.
Please do support the work, watch the streams, keep up with what's going on. We're going to be here week in, week out. Every Wednesday, the stream is going to run. So do tune in, tell your family, tell your friends. We want to get the viewership boosted up. The number of viewers, we want to boost that content, the people watching it. We want to get maximum level of people. Do keep sending the comments, right? And there's going to be good stuff that happens out here, as we saw today. Interesting stuff's going to go on, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. So Jazak Allah Khair for tuning in. Alhamdulillah, we're going to be here every week, like Murtada said. Amazing conversations. I think we've only got one Quran left, and pretty much by the time we pack up, that's going to go. Brother Sabur, inshallah, we're about to wrap up. Inshallah, how has it been today? And what's your final message before we end the live stream today?
So brothers and sisters, the message of Islam is very simple. You've heard it today. It's not complicated. You talk to people about worshipping Allah alone. Smile, have energy, be positive. Speak to people in a way that you want to leave them feeling positive about Islam.
Yes.
So alhamdulillah, people, how many do we have left? Two,
that's it. And it's going to go now anyway.
The box full of sweets is gone.
It's gone, subhanAllah.
Right? So how many Qurans did we start off with? Like a whole box full?
With a whole bag, I think. Whole bag full.
So what does it go to show you? People are interested, people want to learn about Islam. And what's so interesting, there's just one thing, loads of interaction today, but one thing that came to mind. One guy came up to me himself.
Yes.
He didn't want to talk.
Right.
He didn't want to have a conversation. he just said, English copy of the Quran, English guy, right? I said, yeah, here you go. Took it, and I wanted to talk to him, and he was like, you don't want it? He's like, I'll read it. So
Wow.
something was cooking in his head. And
Yes.
clearly for me, he approached us and he was thinking something.
Subhanallah.
Whatever he was thinking, Allah knows.
Yes.
So there's something going on, and he just wanted a free copy and go.
And that's it. And because you were here and you had the Quran and we have this discovered the Quran, you fulfill that, subhanallah.
Yeah.
So you're facilitating his journey, inshallah.
And sometimes, whenever you're immersed in something, whenever you are involved in something, it's like any profession that you're involved in, you start to get some intuition, some feelings. The feeling I had is he's on a journey.
Yes.
And he bumped into us. Now, there's many other people we interacted with today, but that guy stood out for me, and the reason why he stood out is because for him, this was like, maybe in his head he was thinking it's a sign, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
So, gotta
subhanallah.
keep up the dawah, brothers and sisters. There's a donation link. Support the dawah, and most importantly, get involved in dawah yourself, because dawah is something we should all be involved in.
Jazak Allah Khair, support. Jazak Allah Khair for tuning in, brothers and sisters. We're going to end here. Don't forget to like and share, and join us next week where we'll be hitting the streets of London, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.